Hello, y'all. I'm back. Finally. Let me see how I remove myself. Let's do this. There we go. I did find a news article because I believe Dolly had said he was wanted for what is that, credit card fraud. And she's right. I found this article that did say Brian is wanted for credit card fraud. So I'm assuming him knowing that Gabby was deceased, he was still using her card. Well, let's just say missing. Because at the time, she was missing. So I'm assuming he was still using her card while she was missing. Well, they tracked it down or whatever. He is wanted for credit card fraud. So Miss Dolly Coward, you right. He is wanted for credit card fraud. So I found this article. So I just want to share with y'all what I found. And I'm going to play it in a few minutes. So hang tight. I'm going to play it in a few minutes. And why is... So I got to catch up with my... There we go. So I'm going to play it now, actually. Let's play it now. Courtesy of, I forgot what, CNBC.
Gabby Petito died by strangulation. That finding announced by the
Raven.
Teton County coroner in Wyoming today. He'd already ruled her death a homicide. According to the document the coroner filed on cause of death, it was manual strangulation, meaning the killer used their hands to do it. The 22-year-old left on a cross-country road trip with her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, back in July. A month and a half ago, he returned alone and is now wanted by the FBI for credit card fraud. Authorities have not named him a suspect in her murder. The coroner also revealing today that he thinks Gabby died 3 to 4 weeks before the search crews found her body. That discovery September 19th in this camping area near Jackson, Wyoming, which means the coroner estimates Gabby died sometime between August 22nd and August 29th.
Okay.
Now, according to events reported by law enforcement, the timeline gets a little more narrow.
Hey,
because
Kim.
A witness spotted Gabby and Brian at a Mexican restaurant in Jackson, Wyoming on August 27th.
Listen to
Later
this.
that same day, between 6 and 6:30 p.m., somebody reported spotting their van near the campsite where searchers found Gabby's body. Then 5 days later, September the 1st, 10:26 a.m., police say the van, presumably driven by Brian, enters Northport, Florida. So based on that timeline and the new information from the coroner, Gabby Petito likely died sometime between the evening of August the 27th and the afternoon of August 30th. We'll break down more of what the coroner had to say in just a moment with a forensic pathologist, including what could be a revealing clue. But
good
first,
timeline.
CBC's
That's what
Valerie
we need.
Castro is
The
here with
timeline.
us. The
I
coroner
found this. Yeah.
seemed to reveal this other important nugget.
Yeah.
And Chip, the coroner couldn't say very much to begin with today, but he did say that under Wyoming state law, he couldn't comment on any specifics in the autopsy report besides the cause and manner of death. But what he did say may give us some insight into what else he knows and has seen during the course of this investigation. He answered some general questions and was asked what it's been like for his small office to handle such a high-profile case that has gotten national, if not international, attention. This is what he said.
Quite the media circus and continues to be. Unfortunately, this is only one of many deaths around the country of people who are involved in domestic violence.
People who are involved in domestic violence. Those are the words that he used, seeming to connect Gabby's death to a relationship that involved domestic violence, something no other official involved in this case has stated. You might remember when Gabby and Brian were pulled over in Utah by police, and that was all captured on body camera video. At that time, those officers made the call that Brian was the victim of a domestic incident with Gabby. Brian Laundrie has not been named a murder suspect in this case, and no arrest warrant on any charges related to violent crime has been issued for him. Only a warrant for fraudulent use of a credit card. The Laundrie family did release a statement through their attorney following the coroner's press conference today that says Gabby Petito's death at such a young age is a tragedy. While Brian Laundrie is currently charged with the unauthorized use of a debit card belonging to Gabby, Brian is only considered a person of interest in relation to Gabby Petito's demise. At this time, Brian is still missing, and when he is located, we will address the pending fraud charge against him. The Petito family says they will not be releasing any statement until her body is brought home. Her remains were still with the coroner's office while the autopsy was being conducted over the last several weeks.
Wow. So let me pause that. Let's go back so I won't lose that.
Gabby Petito died by strangulation.
So yes, he is being charged with credit card fraud. They're not yet saying, which we all know, they know, everybody know, that he is a person of interest of her being dead. And they pointed out that the coroner said she was a victim of domestic violence. Only a coroner will know that. That means they had to find Gabby with bruises on her body. They had to find bruises on Gabby's body in order for the coroner officer to say she was a victim of domestic violence. But they're not going to release all of that just yet. I believe they're waiting to find Brian. Now, if he ain't already deceased, he probably would kill himself now. But he may be playing like what they call it, how they do it, what they say, cat and game, mouse and game, whatever. He probably watching the news. And like I said, he may be one step ahead of them. Now he see that he's wanted for credit card fraud. Is he going to turn himself in? No, because he know they got the cause of Gabby death now. So he might just go ahead and kill himself now. Instead of running, he might just go on and kill himself. I don't know. It's just crazy. Because the autopsy did come out.
That finding announced by the Teton County coroner in Wyoming today. He'd already ruled her death a homicide. According to the document the coroner filed on cause of death, it was manual strangulation, meaning the killer used their hands to do it. The 22-year-old left on a cross-country road trip with her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, back in July.
Yep.
A month and a half ago, he returned alone and is now wanted by the FBI for credit card fraud. Authorities have not named him a suspect in her murder. The coroner also revealing today that he thinks Gabby died 3 to 4 weeks before the search crews found her body. That discovery September 19th in this camping area near Jackson, Wyoming. Which means the coroner estimates Gabby died sometime between August 22nd and August 29th. Now, according to events reported by law enforcement, the timeline gets a little more narrow because a witness spotted Gabby and Brian at a Mexican restaurant in Jackson, Wyoming on August 27th. Later that same day, between 6 and 6:30 p.m., somebody reported spotting their van near the campsite where searchers found Gabby's body. Then 5 days later, September the 1st, 10:26 a.m., police say the van, presumably driven by Brian, enters Northport, Florida. So based on that timeline and the new information from the coroner, Gabby Petito likely died sometime between the evening of August the 27th and the afternoon of August 30th. We'll break down more of what the coroner had to say in just a moment with a forensic pathologist.
There you go. There's the timeline.
That could be a revealing clue. But first, CBC's Valerie Castro is here with us. The coroner...
Let's see what they got to say.
House after his family said he went there to hike and never returned. And
Okay,
as the case garnered more and more attention.
This is what the family said. I wish Miss Dottie was still in here, but I know she's on a different time.
With one town along the Appalachian Trail in North Carolina,
Tito's fiance might have taken another turn.
A hiker on the Appalachian Trail claims he saw Laundrie.
I'm telling you, it was him.
Investigators fanned out across the Carlton Reserve today.
He's going to get caught if he's in that area.
and if he's still alive.
What does it take to get a more in-depth look into the week's top
Courtesy
local
to
news
The
stories?
Brief.
The Debrief brings you inside for a one-on-one conversation with our reporters every week, right here, right now. The Debrief.
Welcome to The Debrief. I'm Paisley Chen. Today, we're following up on our coverage of the Gabby Petito case. If you've been following up, you know that we are 4 weeks into the hunt for her former fiancé, Brian Laundrie.
Brian's stretching.
He's the only person of interest in her disappearance, and police have been looking for him since September 17th. Authorities have focused most of their attention on the vast nature preserve near his house after his family said he went there to hike and never returned. And as the case garnered more and more attention, reports of sightings skyrocketed.
I ran into Brian Lauer.
With one town along the Appalachian Trail in North Carolina getting multiple calls about possible sightings.
And I'm 99.99% sure that was him.
Even with the immense attention this case is getting, there still hasn't been a sign of Brian Laundrie, which begs the question, how could he possibly survive on his own in the swamps of Florida or anywhere else for that matter for nearly a month? We wanted to get an idea of what it takes to avoid detection for that long, so we brought in survivalist and instructor Dave Canterbury for his thoughts.
So what do you think? I mean, what does it take to survive in these terrains? I mean, first of all, they've been looking at the Carlton Reserve, right? Many, many times. They just went back there today with Brian Laundrie's father. What is the likelihood that he has survived in that swamp for this long?
No.
I think a lot of that depends on quite a few variables. Number one, it was rumored that he had a backpack with him. If he had that backpack and he had some sort of supplies with him that he understood how to use and had the knowledge and skill level to be able to take care of himself with the supplies. Simple things like a water filter that will yield drinkable water for a fairly long period of time. Something that he could get away from the elements and off the ground, like a hammock and a tarp. All those things would fit into a small backpack. Some type of water bottle to carry water over distance. Something to start fire if the opportunity arose. Fire could be a problem for him simply because it's so visible. And movement is probably his biggest enemy at this point, is visibility. So he's got to be careful with that. But he can also stash a small amount of food in a backpack like that. So he could feasibly, if he could fish, or if he was adapted all around water and be able to hunt things like frogs, fish, snakes, turtles to consume, again, he'd probably have to cook those things. So fire is going to be the issue. However, you could survive for a fairly long time in an environment like that if you were prepared, for sure.
That's amazing. I mean, survival is one thing, but doing it undetected would be another.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely probably his worst enemy right now. Is number one, his own psychological fears of being caught and being pursued. And then you have to think that any normal human being, whether he actually killed someone or not, if he did, that's playing on his mind as well. There's going to be a certain amount of guilt involved in that, no matter how callous of a person you are. And so combined with the fact that he's being pursued, combined with the fact that he's probably tired, probably cold most nights, he's not in his best mind state. So I think he's more apt to make mistakes because of that. And his movement has to be limited to low light hours where he doesn't have that fear of detection. I think probably if he's in that swamp somewhere, he's probably smart to stay near water, so he's near resources, but also to stay in areas that aren't so clustered with vegetation that if he has to move at night, he can do that safely without tripping over other animals or tripping over different types of vegetation debris as he's trying to move during evening hours.
Alligators.
So I think if he's in that area,
if
he's probably going to be
eat
in
them up.
area that's not so vegetated, but it's going to be near water. That would be my guess. If it were me, that's what I would be doing.
So, the problem is they were saying that 75% of that reserve is covered in water and that there are poisonous snakes and alligators there.
Yeah.
Really, what are the odds of being able to survive undetected there?
First of all, I think you have to remember that the threat of an alligator is not what most people believe it to be. Unless you're in nesting season or you stumble across one that's with babies or something like that.
I went to Walmart
the
and gave you
of
a
actually
wrench.
just outright being attacked by an alligator, if you're not in the water anyway, are pretty remote. Gators, I think, are a smaller worry to him. The snakes would be a bigger problem, and the bugs themselves. That area is infested with mosquitoes. So if he doesn't have a way to keep those bugs off of him, that's going to be very traumatic as well over time.
There was one particular sighting of him along the Appalachian Trail. Do you think it's more likely he'd be able to hide for a much longer time there than in Carlton Reserve?
I do. I think it would be much more likely for him to not only survive, but be more comfortable and move more undetected. Do you think about the state that the nation's in now with the threat of COVID and things like that? If Brian Laundrie doesn't have many striking features, he's not somebody you'd recognize on the street necessarily, especially if he were wearing a mask and a ball cap. So if he's walking around the Appalachian Trail area somewhere in and out, he could very feasibly walk into a town and resupply with a mask on and a ball cap or a hoodie and not be recognized by a local person that didn't recognize his voice. So if they didn't know who he was, things like that, I would think it would be difficult to be recognized by someone. And then again, there's a lot of hikers on that trail. So you also have the worry all the time of, is somebody going to recognize me? So he's not going to walk around with a mask on 24 hours a day. So sooner or later, if he's on the Appalachian Trail, and maybe he's already been spotted, maybe he hasn't, people see Elvis every day. That doesn't mean he's there. But I think that, sooner or later, he's going to make the mistake of being spotted by a credible witness.
You don't have to thank me, Miss Blondie. You already know you deserve it.
And if he's
You've
still
been
alive.
with me. 100%.
Yeah.
All of y'all that have ranches always
you're
been
a survivalist, so you know what it's like to be out there. If you're really, trying to find your next meal, probably takes up most of your day. I mean, it's not an easy thing, right?
I think that depends on the environment. If he's
y'all
in Florida,
support me.
He has a much better opportunity to find food along a wilderness area like the reserve, because there's so much water there. There's going to be lots of fish, lots of reptiles, lots of amphibians, lots of things like that to eat that he can find and then gather fairly readily if he's careful about it and he knows anything. The problem with all of that comes down to, how do I prepare that food for safe consumption? Is he eating snakes raw? I highly doubt that. So he's got to be able to cook that food somehow to make it palatable. And to cook that food, he has to start fire. And I think that's his biggest issue, is the fact that he can't start fire without being seen.
Right. Well, he wouldn't have that problem on the Appalachian Trail, right? Because
they would not. Although it's not common for people to start fires on the Appalachian Trail, really, except in small group camps and shelters that are already pre-built along the Appalachian Trail. Most Appalachian Trail hikers carry some type of a fuel-burning stove that they use to cook, like just add water meals on a daily basis, or food that they can readily eat on the fly that's cold and doesn't have to be warmed up. Starting an outright fire in the woods on the Appalachian Trail is not a common thing, again, unless you're in a populated group camp area, in which case he takes a big chance on being recognized.
So your money is on the fact that he might be in the Appalachian Trail. He's more likely there than in the Carlton Reserve.
My money says he's probably more comfortable there. And if he thought, I need to go somewhere where I'm going to feel safe, it's more likely that he would have went there than going into the Carlton Reserve. That doesn't make it fact. It just makes it my personal opinion.
The clock is ticking for him. I mean, if he had gotten, supplies however many weeks ago, they're probably running low if he hasn't run out. I mean, he's going to have to surface at some point.
Let's say his family helped him
with
supplies.
And if he is, in fact, along the Appalachian Trail somewhere, I go back to the fact that if he has any kind of money whatsoever that he got from who knows where, he could, in fact, walk into a trail store somewhere in a small town along the Appalachian Trail in a mask and a ball cap, like he was afraid of COVID, and probably not be recognized if he was in and out fairly quickly.
Amazing.
So it's possible he could even resupply.
So how long do you think, how many weeks supplies do you need to hide out? How much would you need? Could you fit everything you need in a backpack? And for how long? Not for a long period of time, no. Not unless, again, it depends on whether you're talking about Florida or whether you're talking about the Appalachian Trail. If you're talking about Florida, he has no way to resupply, most likely. So if he's in Florida, the clock's ticking for sure, and his time's going to run out fairly soon, I would say, if for no other reason, but because the weather's going to change, and it's going to start getting colder at night, and he's going to run the risk of having hypothermia because he can't keep himself warm without a fire. Unless he has, wool blankets, sleeping bags, and all those types of things that he probably didn't think to take
because he didn't know he'd be on the run this long, most likely. He didn't think that through, I would think. Now, if he's on the Appalachian Trail, again, that's a different story. You can resupply over and over and over again as long as you don't get recognized. So that's the key to that. If he's got money, he can just keep bouncing in and out to these trail towns and things like that in small areas and buying more food, buying more supplies, buying whatever he needed. And as long as he didn't get recognized, he could stay there until he runs out of money.
So that's actually
supplies.
Right, because you don't really need to be such a skilled survivalist to live under those circumstances.
Not along the Appalachian Trail, I would say no. I mean, the people that walk the Appalachian Trail, I would give them all the credit in the world for doing that because it's not an easy feat. However, it is camping, and it is temporary camping because you're going from one town to the next to the next. A lot of those guys have things mailed to them to post office boxes where they can go pick that supply up to resupply.
I think he's doing that perpetrator shit.
You can to replenish the water filter you have.
He could be alive.
You can buy food. You can buy fuel.
Watching
the
policemen.
You can buy an additional.
He may be looking at their ass in their face.
Keep you warm, or additional tarp. All those things are available to you in those trail towns because the Appalachian Trail is known for having food hikers.
Did y'all see the protesters left their laundry baskets on the parents' line? Yes. And the parents took the laundry baskets off the line.
Right. So if he has money still, presumably, right, to buy these supplies, how much longer do you think he could really be on the run?
Again, I think it depends on how long his money holds out, number one.
What did he read in them books? Exactly.
Because right now, that's the thing that's probably.
Well, he was trying to be a copycat. Well, he was so fascinated in those serial killers. He went. That was the way he traveled. He wanted to go to where they made movies. All of that.
The time frame could be another week, could be another month, could be another 2 months. But what you have to remember is that even if he's in North Carolina, by the time December rolls around, you're talking about some very cold nights.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily days, but nights. And that calls for, I have to have fire, I have to have shelter, I have to have proper clothing. And those are things that he might not be able to afford to do in the long term.
He got
so
help.
That may cause him issues. He may have to come out and just, I don't know, surrender, give himself up, whatever he decides to do. But I think he's probably still got at least another month before that's going to become a problem.
Oh, wow. Another month. Okay. Well, thanks for sharing your insights with us, Dave.
Yes, Blondie.
We'll be sure to consider all this
information. I really do believe if he's
him.
Alive, he's watching every move.
Pretty soon, to tell you the truth.
Because
thanks for listening to the debrief. I'm
he's
Paisley Chang.
Reading,
we'll be back next week.
He's fantasized. It's a dream to visit all these sites of, serial killers and
for Brian, we're asking you to turn yourself in.
We're working as hard to find him now as we did on day one.
He's going to make a mistake. A fatal mistake.
What does it take to get a more in-depth look into the week's top local news stories? The Debrief brings you inside for a one-on-one conversation with our reporters every week, right here, right now.
The evil people, Elaine.
The Debrief.
Because I think they helping him. If he's still alive, they fucking helping him.
We're continuing with our coverage of the Gabby Petito story, which is now a homicide investigation. A lot has happened since our last debrief, so let's take a moment to see what's happened thus far.
But hey, we got a call about a male hitting a female and the two of them getting in this vehicle and taking off.
So I don't want to try and defend myself by saying anything here, but I pushed her away. She gets really worked up.
Police released new body camera from when they pulled the couple over in Moab, Utah. Authorities had received 911 calls August 12th from people who said they saw Brian Laundrie slap Gabby Petito.
Did you get hit in the face? Kind of looks like something like hit you in the face. And then over on your arm, shoulder, right here. That's new, huh? It's kind of a new mark.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
And she did have bruises. I didn't even know that.
So, what happened here and here?
I'm not sure. It was a. I was just trying to get in the back of the car and he backpacked on the back. And he got me.
So the backpack got you?
Yeah.
So there's two people that came to us and told us that they saw him.
Good point, Kim.
There's two people saying that they saw him punch you. We're just independent witnesses by
They
Moonflower.
don't care if they are
To be
hunting.
honest, I definitely
Gabby's family only
Where'd you hit
if
him?
their son is safe. Yep.
You slapped him first, and then just on his face?
You guys kind of just shut up.
How many times did you slap him?
Just a couple.
And then what? And his reaction was to do what? He just grabbed you?
Yeah.
Did he hit you though? I mean, it's okay if you're saying you hit him, and then I understand if he hit you, but we want to know the truth if he actually hit you. Because
I guess, yeah, but I hit him first.
Where did he hit you?
See how she blamed herself?
Grab my face, like, I guess.
They should have locked both of them up at that point because they both had bruises.
Did he slap your face or what?
But she blamed herself. She never admitted that he hit her. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The cop
Police
even,
separated the two for the
thing
night,
is,
but
the
no
cop
charges
even
were filed
noticed
and
she
no
got a
serious
slap on
injuries
her
were
face.
reported. A month later, Gabby Petito was found dead. Now, federal agents are searching for her fiance, the only person of interest in her disappearance. FBI agents and local cops have been searching the vast nature preserve near his family's home in Northport, Florida, since September 17th. But his parents told police they last saw him on September 14th. And now, still no sign of Brian.
Gabby Petito never goes outside.
But we're starting to get a somewhat clearer picture of Petito's final hours and what Laundrie had been up to since he returned home. This week, a Jackson restaurant confirmed that the couple dined there on August 27th, the same day YouTubers caught their van off the side of the road not far from where Petito's body was found. And days after he returned to Florida on September 1st, we learned Laundrie got a new phone from AT&T.
They separated both.
His family said it was for a family camping trip to Fort DeSoto Park, which sits on a barrier island on Florida's Gulf Shore.
You can see.
They say he came home with them. The park has turned over surveillance camera footage to investigators looking into the case. And that phone he just got, apparently he didn't take it with him when he went on that fateful hike that sparked a manhunt. Reward for information on his whereabouts now top $80,000. And even reality star Dwayne.
For Brian, we're asking you to turn yourself in.
We're working as hard to find him now as we did on day one.
He's going to make a mistake, a fatal mistake, and get caught.
What does it take to get a more in-depth look into the week's top local news stories?
Now they left the laundry
Debrief brings you
baskets on there
inside
because
for
they
a
last
one-on-one
name
conversation with our reporters
to
every
me,
week, right here.
Pretty much
right
it was
now.
saying,
The Debrief.
y'all hiding dirty laundry. Y'all know what the
Welcome
fuck
to
happened.
the debrief. I'm Paisy Chen.
Well, y'all know what happened,
We're
but y'all
continuing
know,
with our coverage
y'all know
of the
y'all
Gabby
son
Petito story, which is
had
now
already
a
killed
homicide
Gabby.
investigation. A lot has happened since our last debrief, so
You ain't
let's take
see
a
them
moment to
out looking
see
for
what's
her.
happened thus far.
They ain't gonna help the police.
Hey, we got a call about a male hitting a female and the two of them getting in this vehicle and taking off.
So
I can't defend myself.
Everybody pushed her away. She gets really worked up.
Police released new body camera from when they pulled the couple over in Moab, Utah. Authorities had received 911 calls August 12th from people who said they saw Brian Laundrie slap Gabby Petito.
Did you get hit in the face? Kind of looks like something like hit you in the face. And then over on your arm, shoulder, right here. That's new, huh? Have a new mark.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Can I see the other side of your face? So, what happened here and here?
I'm not sure. It was a. I was just trying to get in the back of the car and his backpack was on the back. And it got me.
So the backpack got you? So there's two people that came to us and told us that they saw him hit you. There's two people saying that they saw him punch you. We're just independent witnesses by Moonflower.
Well, to be honest, I definitely hit him first.
Where'd you hit him?
I slapped him.
You slapped him first? And then just on his face?
You guys kind of just shut up.
How many times did you slap him?
Just a couple.
And then what? And his reaction was to do what? He just grabbed you?
Yeah.
Did he hit you though? I mean, it's okay if you're saying you hit him, and then I understand if he hit you, but we want to know the truth if he actually hit you.
I do too.
I guess, yeah, but I hit him first.
Where did he hit you? Don't worry, just be
He
honest.
grabbed my face, like, I guess. He didn't like hit me in the face, like he didn't like punch me in the face or anything.
Did he slap your face or what?
Well, like he like grabbed me like with his nail, and I guess that's why it looks. I definitely have a cut right here, but I could feel it.
Yeah.
It burns.
Police separated the two for the night, but no charges were filed and no serious injuries were reported. A month later, Gabby Petito was found dead. Now federal agents are searching for her fiance, the only person of interest in her disappearance. FBI agents and local cops have been searching the vast nature preserve near his family's home in Northport, Florida, since September 17th. But his parents told police they last saw him on September 14th. And now, still no sign of Brian.
Gabby Petito never goes outside.
But we're starting to get a somewhat clearer picture of Petito's final hours and what Laundrie had been up to since he returned home. This week, a Jackson restaurant confirmed that the couple dined there on August 27th, the same day YouTubers caught their van off the side of the road not far from where Petito's body was found. And days after he returned to Florida on September 1st, we learned Laundrie got a new phone from AT&T.
Whoa.
His family said it was for a family camping trip to Fort DeSoto Park, which sits on a barrier island on Florida's Gulf Shore.
And they did go on a
home
trip
with them. The park has turned over surveillance camera footage to investigators looking into the case. And that phone he just got, apparently he didn't take it with him when he went on that fateful hike that sparked a manhunt. Reward for information on his whereabouts now topped $80,000. And even reality star Dwayne Chapman, who you might know better as Dog the Bounty Hunter, are trying to collect.
The search now is really on.
So for a little more clarity about what's happening with the search for Brian Laundrie, we're going to ask a retired inspector from the U.S. Marshals, Craig Kane. Hey, Craig, how's it going?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I imagine you're watching this search with some questions, maybe a little frustration.
Yep, Miss Kim.
Like everyone else, yes.
What are you noticing right now? What do you think is going on?
You got to understand that this isn't an episode of Law and Order or NCIS. You know what I mean? This isn't an hour-long search with commercials. These types of investigations could take days, months, even years. You know, case in point, back in the late 90s, there was a guy named Eric Rudolph. You might be familiar with that name. He did a string of bombings in Alabama and Georgia, and he went on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. And he was a survivalist, so to speak. He disappeared. It took 5 years to find this guy. 5 years. And you know how they found him? He came out of the woods one night when his provisions ran out. And he was rummaging through a dumpster in a rural town of North Carolina. And a local police officer happened to come by and seen this disheveled-looking man rummaging through a dumpster for food. And he put him under arrest, and that was the end of Eric Rudolph. A guy like Brian here, unless he's a very skilled survivalist, and he can live off the land, so to speak, there's going to come a time where whatever provisions he has runs out. And he's going to have to make a dash for a community, whether to buy goods in a store or like Eric Rudolph, rummage through a dumpster for scraps.
Are you surprised he hasn't been found yet? He's been gone for weeks.
No, not at all. Not at all. You know, like I said, this isn't reality TV. This is a real life situation, which leads me to believe this was well orchestrated, well planned, and he had a lot of time and resources. Somebody's funding him, okay? Or somebody funded him with enough money and enough, let's say, if he did go out into the woods, enough provisions to get by till he
get caught.
Came up with his next plan of action, whether to leave the country or go to a remote state where he thinks maybe his
nobody
face
know
blasted. But I'm sure
but he read a lot of books, y'all. Y'all got to remember that.
Lookout
he read a lot of books on
not only
shit
that,
like
but
this.
I'm sure, and let me just step back. By getting this warrant opened up the door for the FBI or any law enforcement to use subpoena powers to get records, whether it's some kind of digital footprint they're looking for, to get into the house, to check.
He still was gonna kill her. That's what I said
that
tonight.
he might be using.
He killed her.
Somebody
He killed her.
Helping
he
him
didn't kill her.
Might be
not unless
using.
he killed
They
her
could
because of
even
the
have a
books.
forensic artist.
I think he killed her because she
a
seen
couple
something.
different photos of him with hair, in case he's wearing a wig, you know, clean shaven, scruffy.
He read too many
full
books on
beard,
this shit.
Different types of looks that he might be using to conceal himself.
And he gonna
There's
consider a
thing called
serial
red
killer.
Notice. I don't know if you're familiar
A
with
red notice?
Gabby
Yes, a
might
red
not
notice.
be the only person
And
he
that
killed,
is
y'all.
Interpol. And the
You
Marshals
gotta
are one
survive.
of the lead agencies for Interpol in the U.S. Although we have the domestic part of this investigation covered throughout the country,
He's a serial killer. I believe
the
he
Red
killed
Notice
the
puts
other
4 member
two
nations
couples
throughout
that
the
just
world
got married.
on notice.
That was
of
his
this
first.
felon has all his
Gabby,
particulars.
I mean,
It has
first,
photos
them
of
two
him.
people.
It gets
Gabby
blasted
next.
out worldwide.
Yeah.
And, you know, if
you find
anybody
more
comes in
people out
contact
there in
with
them
him,
areas,
they
dead.
could hold him till the
No
U.S.
telling.
gets what's
Anywhere
called a
now, because he
provisional
could be
arrest
anywhere in
warrant,
the United States.
and we could extradite
I
him
believe
back to
he's
the
gonna
US.
be. He's a,
So that was
a
one of the
serial
biggest
killer.
fears, right, of people
That
that
was
are
his
watching
passion.
this, that he
That's
had
what
so
it is,
much
passion.
time to get
His
away
passion.
that he's probably
He
in a
read
different
them
country.
books.
But you're
He
saying
wanted to be like
that
a
doesn't matter.
serial killer, y'all.
You know, with social media and our treaty
I
countries,
think he did.
the
I
world
think
got
she did,
smaller.
Blondie.
It's not that
I think
easy
that
to
was the
hide
first
anymore.
kill
We put
when he
people
killed
out
them
of
couples.
Thailand, Vietnam,
I'm just saying my
Amsterdam,
opinion.
Cambodia,
I think
all
he
over
killed
the
them
place.
couples.
And look, people, as sad as this is, people love a good murder mystery. And that's what this is turning
That's
into.
what it is.
I feel terrible for the family, what they must be going through. I
That's
could
what
not
it
even
is.
imagine.
A murder mystery.
But
and
they
that's
have
what
a
he
lot of
wants. And he
support.
watching
And
every move.
this guy
The
will be
media
found.
tape. The
Maybe
not even
not
just
sooner, but he will be found later.
he watching
you know?
the detectives.
It's just a matter of patience.
He laughing
and
at
time.
them. If he's still alive,
Fred, let me
he's
ask
sitting
you
here
something.
laughing at
Do
him.
you think
I won't put
he's
it past
alive?
if he don't send a note to
You
one
know
of them
why I
damn
think
detectives.
he's alive, and this is a critical moment that kind of
He get
changed
off
my
on
view
this.
on the whole subject. It could have been plausible that the parents might not have known where he went until they made, in my view, the most critical mistake they made. And that is when they said, after he went missing for a couple of days, the parents called the police and said, yeah, Brian's missing. He went out into the preserve there to meditate. Okay, and he took the Mustang. Okay, that's fair. When he didn't come back, they called the police. However, before that,
they went to go get the
parents
car.
went out to the preserve and miraculously found the Mustang.
And they drove the
Supposedly,
car
then
back
they said,
home.
oh, he left his cell phone home. So now you're going to go out into the preserve. You're going to leave your cell phone home, your only communication. Then the parents are going to go out there and miraculously find the Mustang. That's when they should have called the police. However, they took the Mustang home. So now you're going to leave your son.
There you go, Miss Dolly, Miss
no
Cole,
form of communication
Coward,
and no way to get home. Does
Here
that
it
make
is right
sense
here.
to anybody? What does that tell you? It was
Something
all a
ain't right.
ploy. I don't even think he was ever in that preserve. He had plenty of time to calculate his moves with the parents.
That was
help,
enough
I'm
time
sure now.
to get him
I
out
would
of
just
there.
imagine that the Bureau is doing
Hey,
forensics of
100%
all
long
their
time no see, babe.
financials to see if X amount of money was
Big
taken
is
out
the
of an
police
account
force supposed to
prior
be.
to him
And all
so-called
that, this
going
high
out into the
tech.
woods
Hold on.
meditating. I doubt anybody has thousands of dollars stashed under their mattress and they go, here, Brian, here's $12,000, go buy some provisions and disappear or get a train ticket or make it across the border somehow.
So it's interesting. You
They can't
think
find
that
the
was their
camper
critical
van.
mistake.
They can't
Going
find the
back-
camper
going to the
van
preserve
now.
and bringing the car back.
Yeah, why would anybody in their right mind do that? When you
He
know
gonna kill
and you
himself.
made a
That's what I
statement
said. He playing a
to the police
game
that
with
here's
their
his
ass. But
phone.
the closer they is
So he
to
went out
find
into the woods to
him,
meditate. He
he
took his
gonna
car.
kill
So
himself.
now
He may
you're
still
going to
be
go
alive.
as the parent take his car, find his car.
Yeah, he was at the
then
park.
bring it
This is
back
what the
home.
family said. I'm gonna
When
play
you know
it
your
again.
son's out
I
there,
wish
how's
Miss
he gonna
Dolly
get back
was still
home?
woke, but I know
She
she's in
can't call you
UK
because his
area. Her
phone
time different than ours.
supposedly was left in your house.
That's what I was trying to tell
was he
Miss
gonna
Dolly
walk back?
earlier when I just did
It
a
makes
live
no sense
earlier.
to me. And
Yeah,
as a 30-year
and then the family went to
investigator
go
type
pick the car back up.
that I was doing, you know, these types of cases that I was doing, to me, that would say they're full of crap. You know, that they helped him somehow, some way. That's just my view.
So then they,
I
not only do
agree
they
with
get
you.
his car, they go and bring his car home, and then they wait 3 days to call the police.
And say he missed.
Why is the FBI and the police still
It's all a game
searching that swamp?
Like anything else.
They do have tracking
to,
device.
even like
Yes,
with
they do.
America's Most Wanted, thousands of tips came in. When we did the
And that looked
Beltway
like a new
Stomper case,
Mustang to me.
thousands of tips came in. People were calling phony tips in because they didn't like their
I don't know
neighbor.
why they showing.
But
Oh, they
you
showing
have
his
to
picture
vet
because he
every
missed.
lead. Some of them you could disregard right
Well, he
away.
found
Like
now.
the lady with
And the way they
crystal
found
ball,
him.
that I had an interview once. She had a crystal ball going. And she's telling me where the guy is.
I'm gonna
you
do
know, he's
that.
on
I'm gonna do
planet
that story
Mars or whatever.
probably.
You could discount them right away.
Probably this
But
weekend.
leads that could possibly be credible, you have to exhaust it to the fullest. Okay, so they have to finish their search till they feel comfortable enough
to release it,
where they could move on to another area. You could do a two-pronged investigation at the same time of two different areas. You're not just going to get some kind of half-credible thing, oh, he's up in somewhere on the Appalachian Trail. So you don't just pull your resources from the Florida site. You have another team or teams working simultaneously to
let me
vet
tell you
that
something
lead and
about
see
him.
if there's any kind
He
of
may be
evidence that
smart
could be
enough, like his family helped him.
As you know, we're now learning.
They over
that
there
when
searching
Brian
this
came
area.
home with Gabby's
Brian
van
went to
without
somewhere
Gabby,
else.
his parents took him on a camping trip.
Sure did. A few
In
days.
a different part of Florida, Fort
Sure
DeSoto
did.
Park. What is the significance that they took a camping trip together?
To me, that was the ploy. The camping trip could have been to buy him time. That camper could have been loaded with provisions for him or money. And then somebody else,
100% just
whether
said
it
the
be a
damn
family
camper
or
van
somebody in
down
his
there.
trusted circle of friends. And I'm sure that the FBI is tearing that apart. They're looking at call detail records. You might even come across a number that he's using, a burner phone.
Well, it's interesting you bring up the burner phone. We got a statement from the Laundrie family attorney who said
He
the
would
following
kill
to us. I'm going to read
himself.
it to you, okay? He says, I can confirm that a phone was purchased
I'm
on
glad y'all
September
on the same
4th
page I'm on, man.
this year. This is after he came back from Wyoming. Brian opened an account with AT&T for that phone, and he puts in parentheses, not a burner. Then he says Brian left that phone that he just got on September 4th at home the day he went for a hike in the preserve on September 14th, and that the FBI now has that phone.
Yeah. So
he ain't nowhere near where they were searching.
Possibly.
That was alibi
purchased
to say he
not
was
for
there.
Brian, but for the parents to communicate with another phone that Brian might have. That is unknown.
That is a burner.
To law enforcement. That could also have been a mistake the parents made, because now the FBI will get the records of that phone. You know, they're not going to tell.
He got a new phone that was a burner.
Or the public everything they know.
And the family
And
know he's
rightfully so.
alive.
Certain things you have to keep close to your vest while you're doing the investigation, because you don't want to tip your hand to anybody.
And you don't want to tell
a very
everything.
important point that I want to go back to.
You don't want to
You
tell
believe
everything.
there is another party helping him. You don't
Yeah.
think it's just the
Most
parents.
definitely.
Like one of my old partners said, who's who in the zoo? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to find out his trusted circle of friends. He's not getting help from a stranger, that's for sure. It's not like this is a political or religious thing where he's getting help from some kind of organization.
There's no network helping him.
Correct. Correct. Nobody's going to help this guy. and I always say, we're not magicians. We don't have a magic wand that we wave. Okay, we don't have a special mirror looking glass or anything. We have to go on what we uncover as investigators, evidence. Okay, right now, unless
Miss
the
Elaine,
FBI
Miss
or
Elaine,
local
it
law
is
enforcement
tampering with
knows more than
evidence.
what they're telling, I'm sure they do.
It
But
is.
unless you have hard evidence where he could possibly be, it's going to be a waiting game. The most important thing is what people like you are doing, blasting this out there. The more people that see this and the more people that don't let this die and keep it fresh in people's heads, because this is a big case. One day, somebody in the public is going to see this guy and they're going to call in detective. A local cop on the beat might see him hitchhiking or walking through the woods, or a game preserve warden.
100% said, is that the young college man that went missing? They found him. Oh yeah, the picture they showed. Yeah.
That could take years.
I'm gonna do that story as well
From a Virginia road
with his organs missing. Yep, that they showed him too.
I
Yep.
caught him in 1990. That was 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Well,
hopefully,
back then it was easier to hide for that
it was
long.
easier to
They
hide,
got a lawyer so quick.
especially
I mean, I
back
never
then,
seen
and even
you
in
come home
1990,
from a camping
you know, the
trip
guy was
or a
hiding
road
in Bay
trip,
Ridge, Brooklyn, in
and
plain sight,
you lawyer up
using his
real
real
quick,
name.
and then the lawyer say,
So,
"Don't speak to nobody."
Yeah,
They already
exactly.
knew. The
Of
family
course,
knew
this
Gabby
didn't
was
have
gone then.
the social media platforms
And then he could still walk
things
around,
that
take
we have
hiking
today,
trips.
but it goes to show you,
Hell, where they do that
if
at?
you have enough resources,
You a suspect, you getting
and
questioned.
you plan this well, you could
Well,
disappear. Not
according
forever. At
to
some
the
point in time,
family
unless
that
you
got
get
him a lawyer,
extremely lucky, and
he
it
ain't
has
have to be
happened,
questioned. He can't be
he's going
questioned.
to make
He
a
can go on
mistake,
with everyday
a fatal
living.
mistake, and get caught.
And that's what it was.
Or
It was
some
buying time.
vigilant person out there.
But the family
gonna
knew,
say, hey,
and he
this
knew
looks like
Gabby
this
was
guy. Let me
already
call in
gone.
this tip. You know, you got John Walsh involved. You got this other guy, the bounty hunter.
Dog the bounty hunter. That's my next question, Craig.
Yeah, that's
He pinpointed him at Fort DeSoto Park, right, in September. The lawyer claims he came back with the parents. He's not there. But Dog is over there searching. He's looking at all these islands. But he's doing his own search, right? Because the FBI and the local police, they are not searching there. What is, do you think these concurrent searches are good? Do you think, anybody that's searching for Brian is a good thing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would encourage it, Listen, when we were youngsters, okay,
He could
with the
be
son of
anywhere
Sam,
right now.
we were like 18
He could be
years
somewhere
old.
where
We
we
were
won't
driving
even,
into
people
Brooklyn
probably wouldn't
with
recognize.
baseball bat in our car, and we were looking. We didn't even know what we were looking for, but there was a big reward. So that was the summer where everybody was scared to go out and everything. Now this brings me to another point.
I think I remember.
And
that.
I told that reward is getting up there for this Gabby case. Okay, I mean, I think it's over $100,000. People will turn in their own mother for that amount of money.
The pot is getting up there, right?
Right. Now, listen, if I was Brian Laundrie, I would go to a place like San Francisco, one of these Skid Row places where there's an abundance of
He can go to a little city.
You could melt in. Get yourself a cardboard
blend
box.
in. He can go to New York. That's a big city, though. But he can
around
blend
a little
in.
bit and just blend in with the homeless population.
There you go.
Where it's really big and where the police don't like
California.
To go. Okay.
His last words to the cops was
California. That's where you would look if you were looking for Brian.
I'm
go
not
look
tell
in
you
California.
where I would like being
go look
an
in
investigator and how I would do
He's
it.
blending in with the homeless people because he know how to survive.
But you would look there. That's a good place to look.
I would look
go
there.
to California.
And, it's a calculated risk because just because you're homeless doesn't mean you're an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these guys are very astute, street smart. It could be a gamble. Okay. However, in some of these more liberal places like Seattle, where there is a large encampment of homeless folks, he might be able to.
California got a whole strip of homeless people. He was so Oh
a lot
man,
of
when
these
that police
places
was
are
talking to
hands
him
off with the
about
police.
where to go visit,
Police don't go into
as
that.
soon as that police said
They're
California,
told,
he was like, "Oh,
stay away from
really?"
the
He
homeless,
already
let them
probably
live their
been to
life, blah, blah, blah,
California.
blah, blah.
Listen,
So
this
a
how
lot of cops
California
don't even
lived
go
on
there.
the side.
Would that be a place I would consider? Yeah, I would have a list of places I would consider, and that would be one of them. But
So let me ask you, where would you look for him? You're in charge of the
I would go to
search for Brian
California to
Laundrie.
find him.
Are you going to be spending more
up
time in
under
that
tents.
swamp? Are you going to Fort DeSoto Campground? Where are you going?
I'm going to
I'm
California.
going everywhere and anywhere I think
where you think
that
homeless people
it's
live.
plausible that he could be.
Yeah.
You cannot say, "Oh no,
They focus on one area because his car was
You don't
found
know
there.
that, okay? He could be in the Everglades, but you can't just start picking places out of a hat. I think he could be here. I think he could be there. You could never cover all that ground. So unless they have some kind of evidence or some kind of information that could steer them in a certain direction, you can't just arbitrarily start picking places.
We reached out to Laundrie's family for responses to Kane's comments. Their family attorney said they have, quote, no comment on what uninvolved people think. They are just guessing. And as we are recording this, the FBI is back at the Laundrie family home. Their attorney tells us that they're merely there to retrieve some items to help canines with their search for Brian, and that it means nothing more. That'll do it for this debrief. I'm Paisley Chang. Till the next time.
I'm going to bring y'all the news.
Welcome to Banfield. Exactly 4 weeks ago tonight, on Monday, September 13th, Brian Laundrie packed a bag in his little yellow home, and he made for the hills or the swamp or, I don't know, wherever he planned to be on the lam. That is if you believe his parents. And he did that under the watchful eyes of the Northport police. He just disappeared. But where the heck has he been ever since?
They helping him survive.
On this 1-month anniversary of his disappearance, we know this.
No,
we don't know. But there is another anniversary today.
Kids, even if
because today is October 11th. And on September 11th,
think they got the money.
That is when Gabby Petito was officially reported missing. And tragically, we do know how that search ended. And it is likely tomorrow that we should have the official autopsy report. And that will mean her cause of death, potentially. Could also mean potential charges. About that cause of death, though, it's a good thing that we'll find out maybe from a coroner, because there is not one member of the Laundrie family who's been helpful in that department. So, I mean, the obvious question, Brian, would be, what's the protester story now? We're 4 weeks. I usually see protesters starting to, the fatigue sets in, they fly back home, they drive back home, or they go back into the houses across the street. Is that what's happening there?
Well, the protesters were back out here again today. I spoke with one of them, and she told me that they plan to be back out here again tomorrow. They're sort of going day by day, but they do have a different strategy. They sort of met with the neighbors at the end of last week who were getting really sick of the bullhorns, as you can imagine. So they haven't been using the bullhorns. They've been much quieter, but they are out here every day, and then they'll sort of shout without the bullhorns at the house behind me.
This one for
I obviously would love to pose the question to the Laundries. 4 weeks tonight, your son, according to you, walked off for a hike and never came back. I can't get that interview. Clearly, no one can. But I suppose the next best thing is to ask you, Brian. You've been there the whole time. Are you surprised? Did you ever think for a minute, 4 weeks later, you would still be on that lawn?
No, I had no idea. I mean, when we first got sent to cover the story, I didn't know what to expect. I never would have imagined a month later. But obviously, we would all like to interview the Laundries. That's really the main reason that we're out here. And you have to wonder, had they spoken already, would that have calmed things down? We saw when Cassie, their daughter spoke, people sort of took a step back from Cassie's house, and people really haven't been talking about Cassie much. But it seems like the longer the Laundrie stay inside and don't say a word, it just gets people more and more upset.
So the time that's passed, and I keep coming back to when I woke up today, I realized
4 weeks ago today. This is how long this young man has allegedly been on the lam.
He invaded
wherever he is, running, surviving, and we're going to address that in depth on this program later on. But I also realized that after 4 weeks, flowers begin to die and mementos begin to wither, and the rain and the elements begin to, diminish some of those beautiful tributes that were left to Gabby by hundreds and hundreds of people. In fact, it was the town center at City Hall where they all began to build. And that itself is a developing story. What is it, Brian?
Yeah, at the memorial, they are now deciding that they are going to dismantle the memorial. I mean, it's Florida in the summer. It is hot. It is humid. So basically, they've decided that it can't stay outside any longer. There's teddy bears and flowers. So tomorrow they're going to start boxing everything up, and they're going to take it to Gabby Petito's family so that they can have all those mementos. But I just thought of something else, Ashley. You mentioned that, the story's been moving on, and the mementos are getting literally soggy here in Florida. But the media, in many ways, is also moving on. We're really the only ones, for the most part, out here tonight. There's really no media around. And there was one thing I wanted to show you earlier. This is sort of our tent in our area where we hang out here on this side of the house. And we were kind of the only ones out here tonight. And there was this moment, you see where the trash cans are on the side of the house. There was this moment tonight where we were over by our tent. There was no other reporters around. And Christopher Laundrie came out the side door, which I've never seen him do before. He sort of popped his head out. I wasn't sure if he was going to go to the trash cans or what. And I thought, maybe this is going to be the moment. We can sort of have this moment with him and finally get to ask him some questions. There's no one else around. We're on the side of the house. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. He just immediately saw us and went right back inside.
And he could have died.
But it's distressing because we've all done these stories before, and I remember well the Elizabeth Smart waning of news coverage, and lo and behold, 9 months later, the biggest news story of all broke, and that was that Elizabeth Smart was discovered. And so it's hard for Joe Petito and his family to think that the rest of the media have left there, Brian, and it's distressing to me as well, just to think that he's still out there. That story's not over. He still needs to account for what his story is, what his part in all of this is. But in the meantime, can you tell me a little bit about the visit that you had to the Gabby Petito Memorial at City Hall?
Yeah, so I was there for about 2 hours today, and I think word got around that it was going to be ending tomorrow, that they were going to be boxing everything up. So there were so many people out there today, more than I'd ever seen before, from all over the state. There were even people from around the country. Take a look. This is what we found today. This is the Gabby Petito Memorial in Northport. It's right near City Hall, and we have watched it grow and grow and grow in size over the last month. It's really so touching to be out here. You see there's this big wooden cross here that says Gabby Petito on it. There are these butterflies all over the place because we know that Gabby loved butterflies, so many people have been bringing butterflies out here. But perhaps what's most touching when you're out here are the messages that people are leaving, the cards and posters like this one. 1999 to 2021, rest in peace, Gabby. This one says, forever missed, never forgotten, Gabby. Mother, father, stepmother, and stepfather. So this is a message to Gabby's family. My heart goes out to each one of you. This has touched me in such a way. I'm sure I only feel a portion of your pain. It goes on to say, she will always be America's daughter. With love and prayers, Jackie. So obviously, this story hitting home for so many people throughout the entire country, many of them coming here to leave their messages. And you see, it goes all the way around this tree.
When
I mean,
he
again,
money,
this
they
was
going
not a big memorial a couple of weeks ago. And it's really, really grown in size. You can see this
I don't think they can
this sign here. Rest in peace, Gabby.
Not
Tennessee
unless
loves
they got
you.
another family
a lot of people
member
signing that poster. So many flowers out here.
The parents ain't gonna be able to do it no more.
There's still Where's Gabby and
they already getting tracked.
Gabby Petito signs. This started out here before Gabby was found.
It's somebody.
So there's still signs from when she was missing.
It could
Another
be
beautiful
auntie,
picture
it
here
could be
of Gabby.
It's
Bring
somebody
Gabby
that
home.
they don't really know.
Justice for
But
Gabby.
see, the FBI
and take a look at
good.
this. A
they
stone
go all
cross
the way
right
down
here.
to find out who all
This
the
is
family
similar
members is.
to the cross that Gabby's stepfather left near where her body was found.
And now that
this
they say
stone cross
she
also
was
here
found
in Northport at the memorial. So
she
a very, very
murdered.
special place. We know that Gabby Petito's family was out here over the weekend. Northport says because of the weather conditions, it's not ideal for all of this stuff to be outside. So tomorrow they will start packaging up all of this,
He'll
and they will be bringing it to
he
Gabby's
may
family.
want to turn himself in because he want to show his
Brian
face on the
Enton,
media.
it is it's very touching to see that. Thank you, by the way, because I don't have a chance to go to Florida and see those things up close. And I know a lot of our viewers would like to do that as well. So thank you for bringing that to us. I had also heard that there was a bench that was going to be built in that area. Very sad to know also that the Petitos had gone to maybe pick a few things up. Do you have any idea what it was specifically they decided to take home with them from that memorial?
He's copycat another.
I don't know exactly what it was, but I know that they'll be receiving everything. I mean, everything you saw there, obviously not the flowers, but everything there that can be picked up and boxed up. Northport has made very clear, the city, that they are going to take that to Gabby Petito's family, so they'll have it all. And you mentioned the bench. Yes, that we're hearing that there will be a bench in that spot that will be custom built, so there will be something there to remember Gabby moving forward.
Thank you for that, Brian. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, I want to address one of the stories that broke over the weekend, that a body was found near the Appalachian Trail. My gosh, everybody started to think this has to be it.
I'm gonna do that story.
So when we come back, I definitely want to ask you about that. Also, before we go, I want to bring this breaking news to our viewers, and that is that the Associated Press is reporting tonight that John Gruden is out as coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, citing emails that he sent before being hired in 2018. Which contained racist and homophobic and misogynist comments. The emails were discovered apparently in a workplace misconduct investigation, and this led to his resignation. They showed Gruden denouncing the drafting of a gay player and the tolerance of.
And it's crazy though. I'm gonna put his name up. Let me show him. Let me put his name out here because I want to cover him as well. Because I feel that he came up missing. Hold on, where my phone at? Right here. I do it here. And I'm gonna put his name out there too. Because when they found him with no eyes, Gentiles, his private part chopped off. Like, why? Hold on, yeah. Bear with me right quick. Here we go. And don't forget about Sunday, October the 31st. October the 31st. I am going to do a Halloween party. Rather, people said, no, don't do it. Do it. I'm going to do a Halloween party. My day off, I'm going to do a Halloween party. Oh, shoot. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. I got you. Okay, right here. Found without organs. How can somebody be found without organs? Let's do him right quick. I will do the rest of this live with, what's his name? Lena. I don't know, but he also was missing at the same time. And let's do his autopsy. Let's hear what they have to say, which is sad as hell.
It's the body of Jelani Day, pulled from the Illinois River after he'd been missing for almost a month, and it took weeks for authorities to confirm the body was his. A new report by the Chicago Sun-Times provides descriptions of the condition of the 25-year-old grad student's body. It comes from family members and their attorney, and we do want to warn you, these details are very disturbing. News Nation's Demetrius Saunders from our Peoria station WMBD has been following the story and has the new autopsy details.
Nicole, today, Carmen Bolden Day, Jelani's mother, clarifying some of what was revealed in that report by the Chicago Sun-Times. In the article, according to Day's family and their attorney, Hallie Besner, Day's body was found without eyeballs. The Sun-Times also states the family's private forensic pathologist could not find a brain or other organs, including Day's liver or spleen. Besner said the LaSalle County Coroner's Office pathology report explained that the organs were completely liquefied.
You're right, 100%.
This leading Besner to seek a scientific explanation as to why Day's body was severely decomposed. The report by the Chicago Sun-Times received lots of social media reaction, with many calling for justice and some questioning exactly what happened to Jelani. In response to those concerns, Day's mother said this in a statement, quote, "No organs were missing. I do not want to stray off from the facts. There were contradicting facts from the first preliminary autopsy compared to the second independent autopsy, but this is not a case of organ harvesting. However, my son did not put himself in a river. My son was murdered, and my goal and purpose are to find out what happened and hold those responsible accountable," end quote. Now, I did try to contact the LaSalle County Coroner's Office about the Sun-Times report and have not heard back. Bloomington police say the LaSalle County Sheriff's Office is continuing to lead the investigation into Jelani's death, which they say is ongoing.
It's going to take your
reached out to Jelani's mother for further comment, and I'm waiting to hear back.
He was in the water maybe for a month.
All right, Demetrius, we appreciate that update.
Hold on. Let me do this. He was in the water, or he has been missing.
It's the body of Jelani Day.
So the whole time he was in the water, everybody know your skin. If you stay in the tub long enough, you start to, or in the swimming pool, let's say swimming pool tub, whatever, your fingers get to looking like, damn, I've been in here too long. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't take no skin off of me or nobody else. But his eyeballs were gone. I don't think water gonna take your eyeballs out your socket. And stole his organs. There you go. Because even liquefied in the water, you still gonna have some eye sockets. You're gonna have eyeballs. I don't think your whole genitals, your private parts, your spine, all of that, I don't think just gonna just disappear out your body. But until the autopsy report shows his actual body, it could have been liquefied. But the way they explaining it, I don't think
A tragic update.
it was liquefied.
Illinois.
I think
Jelani
something
Day,
happened.
Illinois State University grad student. went
Like his
missing a
mom
month
said,
ago.
he was
He was
murdered.
last seen on campus and at a store in Bloomington. His family has been pleading for weeks for any help to find Jelani. And last night, his body, identified as the one found in a river weeks ago. Jelani was just 25 years old. And joining me now is his mother, Carmen
Jelani.
Bolden Day. Thank you so much for being with us. I am so sorry for your loss. How were you told of the news that this body was identified as that of your son?
I was called the day before and was told that there were some clothes that were found on the riverbank where the body was found. Today is Friday. Those clothes were found on Tuesday. No, those clothes were found on Wednesday.
Yeah, Raven. But they said his eyes was out his socket. That's a
Girls
difference.
from ISU that decided they would go down to where they found the body. The Peru Police Department called me, sent me pictures of the clothing. At first, I didn't recognize the clothing, but after looking at the picture, last seen when Jelani was at Beyond Hello, The clothes were definitely his. Then, I guess after me being on television and asking for help and pleading for help, the coroner finally called me because I hadn't heard from him, nor the Peru police since September 4th. They called me. He had finally gotten dental records that I had given him information to get back on September 6th of my son, and told me he finally obtained dental records September 21st. And he called me. He had such enthusiasm. He said, "Carmen, we've got dental records for your son." And I said, "Well, you had me take a DNA to identify for this body, so don't wait for the DNA because you told me that the DNA was the important part because this body was so decomposed."
Yeah, now you can be decomposed
"Do
in
you
the
want to
water.
know if this is your son or not?" They were so rude to me. They asked me to come there on Friday, which me and my family did. Then they read us the results. Now, suddenly, after 20-something odd days, they now have the DNA results. They now have the dental. See, I was told over a week ago they didn't have the solution to process the DNA.
Yeah.
I would have to wait
I feel
longer.
bad for her, man.
Carmen, just so people know that the body was found This body was found September 4th, and it took them till now.
September 4th. My son, they discovered his car on September 26th. No, I'm sorry.
She had reported it.
August
26th.
I remember, yeah, I was going to say it was in August because she reported it in August that he was missing.
I wanted searches done. Prior to me getting to the spot where his car was found, they told me that night, "We've already done an extensive search and we've had this search crew come in." It just didn't seem right to me. So Saturday, I had to organize my own search.
Have they told you, and again, the body was found September 4th, and it took till now to identify it. Have they given you any information
you
about
want to be a donor owner to say no?
No. To them, Jelani didn't mean anything. There's no effort.
I don't want to be a donor owner.
There's nothing that was being done about my son.
It wasn't until this lady, until Gabby came up missing.
Me and my kids,
I seen
me
her
and everybody that never knew Jelani, my family, friends, strangers, did all the legwork.
I remember her posting it. Everybody looking for Gabby, but nobody looking for my son.
My son didn't get any type of help.
And he was missing the same time.
And I'm pissed.
I can understand.
And I feel her pain.
He didn't deserve this. Jelani was going to school. He said, "Mama," him and my youngest daughter, they both are going to be doctors. Dr. Jelani Day, Dr. Zaina Day. They have this competition with each other to make sure their GPAs stay up. Both of them are in grad school. My son wasn't involved in the streets. He wasn't a gangbanger. He wasn't nothing. But I guess if that could have been their narrative, then it would have been, "Oh, let's forget about him." But he was a
trying to be a doctor,
citizen. I raised a good young man, and somebody did this to him. And then they sat there yesterday when they read those results to me and they given me their reports. They implied that Jelani drove himself to Peru parked his car in this wooded area, walked himself down to this bank, and stripped his car and got in this water. My son knows how to swim. My son wouldn't have done this. He was not depressed. He wasn't nothing wrong with him.
He wanted to be his doctor.
About the challenges of his program.
Yeah.
Johnny's been in this chapter for 4 years in undergrad, so.
Carmen, keep him close.
I'm sorry.
No, we're sorry. We're so sorry for your loss, and we're so sorry for the struggles that you've had over the last month. We want you to keep him close to your heart. Keep his memory alive, and we'll help push for answers here as to what happened to your son, Jelani Day. Again, we are thinking of you.
That's sad, man. Oh, I just had tears in my eyes. I feel her pain. I really do feel her pain.
He was a 25-year-old on a fast track to a successful, meaningful life. Tonight, Jelani Day's family is still desperate for answers. He's gone. What happened to him? How did he end up dead in the Illinois River? Why did it take so long, more than 2 weeks, for the coroner to identify his body? The unanswered questions are still mounting. And we're staying on top of this because these cases matter. Jelani Day and all people who go missing. A local TV station in Illinois, WYZZ, has been speaking with police there about the investigation. And here was the response when they asked if they're investigating Jelani's death, a homicide, or if foul play is involved.
We don't want to put the cart before the horse kind of thing. It's still an investigation. Throughout the investigation, it could turn into that. It could already be that. Just right now, I guess the best answer is that it's still an investigation.
The timing and the location of Jelani's whereabouts are key in this investigation. His first known sighting on Tuesday, August 24th, was at Illinois State University's Bone Student Center in the city of Normal. He was seen at campus around 7:20 a.m. That same day, Jelani is spotted on surveillance cameras at a dispensary in Bloomington, Illinois. That's 9:21 a.m. Then, investigators say Jelani's abandoned car was discovered about an hour away on Thursday, August 26th. It's a wooded area, Peru, Illinois, around 4:20 p.m. On Saturday, September 4th, 9 days later, authorities would pull an unidentified body from the Illinois River in LaSalle County. And nearly 3 weeks after that, the coroner confirmed the body is
That's
Jelani
him.
Day. I want to bring in Hallie Besner tonight, the attorney representing
Jelani
Day's family. Hallie, the
Two
FBI
corners went to
is finally
college,
involved in
and
this
one
case. I
say the
understand they were
organs were
invited to join
liquefied,
you. What
the
is their
other
role?
one say the organs was
At this
there.
point, my
So we have
understanding is the FBI's behavioral analysis unit is involved. We're not sure exactly what their role is going to be. I'm hopeful that what they'll be doing is developing a suspect. Because at this point, we don't.
That's what they need to be doing, finding out what happened
whereabouts
to
and trying to
Jelani.
what happened.
Because obviously he must have been
You said
murdered.
hopefully
He ain't gonna
looking
walk
for
in
a
no
suspect
damn
or
river.
foul
Oh,
play.
I'm just gonna go in here.
Does that mean you think the cause of death was foul play?
Absolutely. I have no doubt in my mind that Jelani did not end up in that river willingly. I speak for the family when
I'm gonna look up Purdue, she said, Illinois,
someone did something to Jelani.
to see
We don't know
what
who
type
that person
of
is,
area that
what
is,
they
what
did,
type of
but
neighborhood
we,
that
feel
is.
very strongly, and the evidence points to someone else being involved in this.
Any evidence you can share with us? Because again, it is so scant. I know police like to keep things close to the vest.
Young
What
man
makes you so certain?
want to be a doctor. Look at him.
Jelani had never been
Nice
to
looking
Peru,
man.
Illinois in his entire life. We have no indication he had any reason to be there.
In Purdue.
I actually went yesterday for the first time and saw the area where his car was found. No one who is not from Peru would know that area is there. Jelani did not put his car there. There's no way. Someone had to have put his car there. His car was found there. The car's license plates have still not been found. We still don't know where the car keys are. Jelani's phone has still not been found. Someone has to have those things.
A lot of very odd things there. Yeah, like a license.
Or they
plate
got
taken
rid
off,
of them
phone
and threw it in
missing,
the
pieces of
water
clothing, I think, were
too.
like a mile away. So the timeline here, Hallie, it just does not add up for you, for the family. So he was seen in Bloomington, I think 9:20 a.m., but there's no trace of him driving, let's say, an hour and a half away.
And he had a nice car.
Illinois, where the car was found. We don't know of any, cell phone pings, no traffic cams, nothing?
That's correct. Everything goes dark after 9:20 a.m. on Tuesday, August 24th.
How's that possible in 2021? I mean, people know if you walk down the street.
You got your phone.
Question. That's really what we're trying to find
Okay.
out.
Jelani, I understand, was 6'2", a black man, and he was in the city of Peru. I looked it up in the census. 95.3%
That's
white.
what I'm gonna look up.
0.4% black.
That's why I said I was gonna look Peru up to see what kind of community that was.
That's another reason that we have so many questions. How does his car end up there? How does a 6'2", 180-pound black body end up in the river and no one saw anything? In a town of 10,000 people, it makes no sense. And additionally, you asked what other evidence is there? I can share with you that Jelani's wallet was found not in the same location as his car, not in the same location as his body, not at the same time. His school ID lanyard, he used an ID card to swipe into buildings on campus.
Some not right, some ain't right.
And the photo with the blue dress shirt, that was found in another location several miles away. It just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. And if he were walking through,
they seen him in a nice ass car, thought he probably was a dope boy, but he literally going to school to be a doctor. So I want to look up Peru to see what kind of
and taken there or killed.
When I say this, I want to see
spread around. Is that what you're operating on?
Which the lady just answered my question.
But that's fair to say.
Okay.
It's possible.
You don't see too many blacks in Peru.
Somebody, we just don't know who
somebody
think. Like I said,
he may have got
no
lost.
Connections to Peru. He had never been there. We confirmed that through his prior cell phone records.
What led him to Peru?
So as far as we know, he'd never been there. We don't know of anyone from there that he would have known.
One thing, the morning of August 24th, we have two data points that we just laid out for the audience here. Jelani goes to school 7:20 a.m., then a marijuana dispensary at 9:12 a.m., and it is legal there where he is. Have investigators suggested there's a link to that?
Yeah, I think it's a link to that.
I don't think so. Not to my knowledge.
If that was the last place they seen him at.
On a Tuesday morning.
Carmen Bolden Day has been very outspoken. She's joined us a few times here.
I think that's where they need to lead, to the last place, and that was the Spencer.
And she told us this on Wednesday. This was just before the coroner identified the body of Jelani.
All I know is that law enforcement, the local law enforcement, is not doing their job. And if they can't do their job, get somebody in that can. Mm-hmm. Get the help you need. Put aside your ego. Get me the help, because it's not about them. It's not about me. It's about my son.
Hallie, police say 9 agencies were involved in this. It seems some might have been more aggressive in pursuing clues than others. And we also know there can be such thing as too many cooks in a kitchen, fighting over jurisdiction. What effect did that perhaps have?
Honestly, I think it's had a huge effect. I know from Carmen's perspective, she has had really a lot of difficulty getting in touch with people, getting answers. That's how I came to get involved in this case. It had been 8 days and she wasn't getting answers, and she, I was contacting.
They were going to sweep it up under the brush.
Answers. I would say definitely a lot of agencies involved, and that's definitely been a difficult thing. A lot of, different jurisdictions, and, in the beginning, we didn't know where things had taken place. In the beginning, it was ISU Police Department and Bloomington Police Department, and then the car shows up in Peru, and then the clothes show up in LaSalle, and the body's in the river, and all of these different places. And I think that that's been a real problem because there isn't a point person. So some agencies have done a better job than others, and that's been really hard on family.
Well, I think that's what Carmen was trying to tell us is, maybe in Bloomington they said, we're going to crack this. And then you get to Peru, different process, and then it takes, I think, like 9 days for LaSalle, the county, to drag the river or something. I don't know if I have all of that exactly correct, but the bottom point being, she felt like people dropped the ball. So what is the next move?
At this point, we're still looking for answers. We don't know why Jelani was in Peru. We do not know where his cell phone is. We don't know where the license plates are. We don't know how his car got there. Somebody knows something, and we need that person to come forward. I need
they ain't gonna come forward. Could have been a police officer. In another, what they said, another, still in Illinois, could have been a police officer. I mean, this is crazy.
Them to come forward so that they can properly grieve Jelani, because they're not getting to do that right now because they don't have answers, and that's what they need. And we need people to come forward.
Absolutely.
Could have been a police officer.
Please keep us posted, Hallie.
When mom said, hey, my son missing too. Everybody covering this story about Gabby. My son was missing the same day. Nobody's out looking for my son. So I'm thinking, once that got out, they start hiding. They planted his car somewhere. Somebody could have been driving his car the whole time. They planted his car somewhere else in Peru. They found his body over all the way up in some Illinois. Some ain't right. It just don't sound right. It don't. I agree. It don't sound right. Let's see what this say. This was 2 weeks ago, but they just found him maybe a week ago. Let's see what this.
That is right. This is just truly heartbreaking. We've been covering this story for the last several days, and as you can imagine, the family, they're absolutely devastated. So Jelani Day, he was studying speech pathology at Illinois State University with the goal of one day becoming a doctor. On August 24th, the professor reported him missing after Day did not show up for a meeting that they had scheduled. Day's body was found on September 4th in a river near Peru, Illinois, but no cause of death has been determined at this time. After seeing the resources put into Gabby Petito's investigation,
That's when
Day's
the mother
family
spoke
members
up.
wanted more work put into his case. Now, I spoke with his mother earlier this week before she learned that her son was dead.
I can't get nobody to look for my son, to provide us with those same resources, with that same help.
Now, this morning, police say they will continue their investigation into Day's death. Family members are now focusing on what happened to Jelani and how he ended up dead. Now, joining me live is Ariel Davis. She actually lives in Chicago. Ariel is Jelani's cousin. And Ariel, I can only imagine how your family is dealing with this. Can you tell us how you all are holding up?
Well, it's obvious, none of us are holding up well at all. I didn't sleep well last night. My auntie didn't sleep well last night. His siblings didn't. My grandmother didn't. None of us did. So it's a really hard time for all of us.
Can only imagine. Again, really sorry for your loss. We know people here in the Chicago area, Central Illinois, the Illinois State community, they've been really rallying around your family, and we're so heartbreaking for you all. Heartbroken. Can you tell us what was Jelani like? I know you all were very close. You all were first cousins. You said he was more like a brother than anything.
Yes, he was definitely more like a brother than anything. Our moms are sisters, so his mom is my mom is his mom. Jelani was great. As you see us right there in that picture, that was on the 4th of July. We had a big family gathering. He was just always the life of the party. There's never a dull moment with Jelani. He was always outgoing and always making everything fun. He had a really great spirit.
You were telling me yesterday when we met that nothing about his disappearance or the discovery of Jelani makes sense. You said that he would come to Chicago often to visit his father at Northwestern Memorial Hospital, who was diagnosed with cancer. And you mentioned that Jelani was actually a bone marrow match for his father. So you just don't understand what's going on here.
Yes, none of this makes sense. We're all trying to piece it together, which is why we need the help of the FBI. Jelani would never just disappear on his own. He loved his dad to the core. He was a bone marrow match for his dad. His dad has cancer, and Jelani would always come here and visit him, sit with him, pray with him, talk with him. Jelani was just awesome, and he was excited about being able to help his dad.
Well, again, we really feel for your family. So many people are heartbroken talking about this on social media.
No, I didn't
hear
that, Raven.
To stay on top of this story until we find out exactly what happened to your cousin. And Tanya, we're going to wrap that there. But the I-Team is definitely going to stay on top of this story, as you know.
No, I did not hear that. You got to text me.
Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to our ABC7 Chicago YouTube channel.
Miss Raven, I don't know where you hear that from, huh?
Finding a missing graduate student. You could just stop what you're doing, just take a look at your
screen.
We
were just watching
this. This is 25-year-old Jelani Day. His family reported him missing August 25th, about a month ago. He was always in touch, and then suddenly,
let me see if I can search it.
With the help of friends,
she said the Gorilla Glue
mentors,
girl.
Jelani's family has been spreading the word about him far and wide. Police say.
How you hear that?
On August 25th,
I mean, I didn't hear that one.
These images were captured on security cameras there. Police don't believe Jelani is wearing this.
I'm about to look it up now, Mr. YouTube Streets, y'all. I'm about to look it up now because I did not hear that. This is the first I heard.
On August 26th,
I know she lost a baby when she was carrying a baby before, but I didn't hear that she passed. So let's see. Let me look her up. Gorilla Glue
He's now
lady.
enrolled at Illinois State University. Big plans for the future and also giving back. His mother, Carmen Bolden.
Oh shit! It's like Gorilla Girl dead. About losing her baby. I don't want to put out bad news, y'all. Let me see. I don't see this in the news. Ooh, that's 3 months ago. But they saying her baby, not her. No, she's not deceased. I think her baby died. I heard about her baby. Yeah, I'm not. That's why I'm not. Nope. It was her baby. She didn't die. I heard her baby died. Y'all know that would have been all over the news. I'm gonna play it for y'all so y'all can see. It wasn't this on World Star. She was asleep.
From a previous relationship said she cried with an ultrasound confirmed that she'd lost the baby girl.
She lost
After
her baby.
Tried listening for...
That's what it was. She lost her baby. See, y'all done got me out focused right here. Let's see. Oh, I was gonna say, now see, I can't even get back on what I was getting on. Now, see how people say, oh yeah, sometimes They call Sun Times, but they be doing
Hello
some
friend,
good news.
how are you? Today in this video I am going to tell you about Chicago Sun-Times Jelani Day organs missing.
Oh, this ain't
Jelani Day
Sun Times, it's
house
somebody
by
else
report
covering
result.
it.
Chicago Sun-Times Jelani Day organs missing. Jelani Day got back Saturday, a brilliant, great and northworthy local child. Jelani Day, no organs update. The more than 3.5 hour evening administration, which started around early afternoon and was held at downstate Danville High School, streamed with peers and with music, with
Oh no,
supplication.
not you. I ain't trying to hear you. So here we go.
Good evening and welcome to BNC Live. I'm Tishani Whitlow, filling in
My
for Brittany
bad.
Jones. Our top story tonight, a community in mourning. A funeral service was held for graduate student Jelani Day today. The 23-year-old's body was recovered from an Illinois river just last month. The family says his death is a mystery, as there are still many unanswered questions. Many say Jelani's story sheds light on missing cases involving Black and brown people that rarely receive media attention. PNC's Janine Donaldson spoke with his mother today and joins us live from Danville, Illinois. Janine, tough day.
Danville, Illinois is where my people's, well, Sean's people from Danville.
They can't move forward until they have answers. Today they held a celebration
Danville,
of life
Illinois.
for their
That's
loved
not
one,
even too
Jelani
far
Day,
from
but
where
there's still
Ohio.
questions as to whether the body in the
Yeah,
casket
Indiana,
was actually
Indianapolis,
his. Nearly
then
4 hours
Danville.
long included a selection of his favorite gospel songs, stories of how he's touched the lives of those around him, resolutions and accolades for all that he accomplished in his 25 years of life. There were also repeated calls for justice. His family is determined to find answers as to how he
Girl, don't be coming over here spreading fake news.
Day's mother,
No, but I
Carmen
seen that
Day,
they said her
says
baby,
the investigation
she
into
was
her
pregnant
son's
and
death
she lost her baby or
has gone
something.
nowhere since his body was identified several weeks ago. The family says law enforcement hasn't been forthcoming about
Was you
details
testing
of
me
the
to see if I
investigation,
really know
and
the
that there's several
news?
instances of mistreatment
I
and
think
disrespect
Raven,
from
I think you was
officers and
testing
the
me.
coroner. The family hired a
I
lawyer and
keep up
private
with the
investigator.
news,
They also got a private
the breaking
autopsy
news.
done,
So
an
trust me,
independent
that would have been
autopsy
all
done.
over the news.
After the
But
first
I
one
did
failed
see
to
that she
find
lost
a
her
cause
baby.
and or manner of death, Carmen says the second autopsy left with them with more
She was
questions
pregnant
than
and lost her
answers,
baby.
including if the body they were burying was actually her son.
So either they did something to this autopsy wrong, or somebody, whoever did something to my child.
Don't be coming over here spreading fake news.
They mutilated my son.
You know I keep up.
And
I be trying anyway.
What happened to him? Because Jelani would have did nothing like that to nobody. He wouldn't have hurt nobody. Jelani shouldn't have been like that. I didn't even get a chance. His brothers and sisters didn't get a chance. His dad didn't get a chance. When people die, you're supposed to be able to make peace and see them. I couldn't even see my baby.
And respect out
I
of
couldn't even look at him because I was scared to look at what that was. But
the
then
parent, the mother. I know she's hurt. And I would want to know too what happened to my son.
What they was looking at.
Y'all found his car in one location. Then you turn around. We would have never heard about her son.
Almost down to a skeleton. She says that
Thank God the mother did speak out. Y'all looking for Gabby, but my son been missing too.
That need to be answered.
He been missing since August.
Still need help getting those
the 25th.
Answers. They've hired an odontologist.
Look for my son.
Also are looking for a forensic
pathologist. So I felt her
to get
pain
some
where
of
she
those
was
DNA
coming from.
Questions that were
I felt her pain.
The first
but
time
the only
around,
thing I could say is they was probably looking for Gabby because Gabby was a blogger and it was all on social media that she got pulled over, where they got pulled over. So nobody knew anything about Jelani. And I'm glad his mother
The mystery
did
surrounding the
up.
death of Jelani Day is growing.
We would have never
Authorities still
about
searching
him.
for answers after the 25-year-old grad student's body was found floating in the Illinois River. Day's family says they suspect foul play, and they still are looking for answers. We're going to talk to Jelani's mother, Carmen, in just a moment. But first, Alex Perez with what we know so far.
Look up Peru.
A growing mystery surrounding the death of Illinois State University grad student Jelani Day. Day, who was studying to be a doctor, was living and going to school in Bloomington, Illinois. He was last seen on campus August 24th. 2 days later, his car found an hour north in the town of Peru. A week after that, his body found floating in the Illinois River. The Day family's attorney says loved ones suspect foul play.
The wallet was found in a different area. The lanyard, which had his school ID on it, was not found with the wallet. It was found in a different area.
Authorities so far only calling the circumstances surrounding the disappearance unusual.
The way his vehicle was, it was off of a parking lot. That's very unusual to just find a car like that.
Investigators now working to retrace Day's final movements. The 25-year-old's death has garnered the attention of Viola Davis, Lizzo, and other celebrities.
Thank you so much to our Alex Perez for that report and the latest on where it stands. Now, with the recent rise of attention to missing persons cases, it's important to note that as of December 2020, the FBI had more than 89,000 active missing persons cases. 45% of those cases are people of color. I'd like to bring in Jelani's mom now, Carmen, for more on the search to find out what exactly happened to her son. Carmen, I know this is still a very tough time for you, and we really appreciate you being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me this morning.
So at this moment, what do you want our viewers to know about your son's case?
At this moment, my son's case is open. As of September 23rd, I did request for the Illinois State Police to take over. I do know that they are working with Peru and Bloomington and LaSalle County Police Department.
That's 3 different counties,
I also know that the Behavioral Analysis Unit from the FBI is involved. I don't know how that part of it works. From what I understand, they are analyzing Jelani. I don't understand that really, but whatever it takes to find out what happened to him, that's what I want them to do. I want them to use their tools and their resources so that we can find out what happened to Jelani, because he did not disappear in midair.
Right. And Carmen, as you know, investigators have said, and they suspect foul play. Do you think you know who the killer may be?
Well, investigators never said they suspected foul play. I had to let them know that there was some foul play because they tried to set up this narrative that Jelani could have possibly parked his car in this wooded area, walked himself to this riverbank, took off his clothes and put himself in the water.
And he was with a friend. And
that's
all that.
absolutely false.
But first they found his shirt inside the car.
My son was a swimmer. He knew how to swim. He would not commit suicide. His faith in God was too much, and he knew from what we were taught in our religion that suicide automatically takes you to hell. So Jelani wouldn't have done any of that. So it was me who had to make sure they understood that there was foul play involved, because they wanted to just pass it off and give me some type of inclination that this is what Jelani did to himself, and he did not.
Well, this is why Jelani was an aspiring doctor and such an amazing young man, because of a mom like you, clearly strong, brave, and doing everything she can for her son. And Carmen, his death has garnered the attention of so many people and celebrities like Viola Davis and Lizzo. Has that helped you with this case, just getting it in the public eye with people like this and this type of platform? Has it made a difference for you?
What it's done for me has shown me that people,
we are out here,
no matter their celebrity status, have looked at my son and known that he is a person that needed to be found. He needed to receive help. And these people felt, I guess, my pain
and wanted to help me. So that means a lot to me. It's been other celebrities that have also reached out to us that were not even mentioned. Offset has offered to pay for Jelani's funeral services, and I'm so grateful that these celebrities think enough of my son to want to spread the word and spread awareness about him, but to also want to show love and generosity and kindness toward him, and he's not even here. So Jelani was not only somebody that you would have loved to know in his natural physical life, but I will make sure that the world knows him in his absence, because Jelani was somebody, and he's going to be treated like somebody.
Always smile. You can see that.
We didn't
Always
get the treatment
smile.
that we deserve on set, but I thank
Always
God
smile.
for my children who they knew they wanted their brother back, and they just went through anything that we had to do by any means necessary to do what we needed to do to make sure that Jelani was found and that we got the help that we were looking for.
Well, I know you're going to figure out to the very end what happened, and I hope we are there to bring about the entire truth. Carmen, you're an amazing mom. Your kids are lucky to have you. Thank you so much for just getting up early for us this morning.
Thank you.
And I'm glad.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
For Gabby. But my son missing too. I'm not getting no help out there.
She was very ambitious. You know, everything she said she was going to do, she did. If she set a goal to do something, she completed that, and she did it.
Sorry, yeah, that's another case. That's Kiera. She's from Chicago as well, and I don't think they ever found her. So, let me see. Do I got anything else to cover? So, we know Gabby was found strangled. Of course, we know who her killer is. And he's somebody that's sitting there playing with the cops. I'm going to say he playing with the police. And then when they get close to him, he going to end up killing himself. Jelani, he was also missing, but he was missing from Illinois. And he's a doctor. And hopefully, I really hope his family get answers to how and why. And I say how and why because y'all found his car here. An hour away, y'all found his body. Because when it was first, I remember when it first was mentioned, I remember the mom. She went to the news source. She said, everybody looking for Gabby, but my son was missing too. And nobody finding my son, looking for my son. And I remember the first news report on July Days. I'm going to call him Mr. Days. And I remember the policeman saying they found his car. I got the article. And they found a shirt inside of his car. But after what I'm just listening to, his mom said they found the shirt out like he just took off his clothes and went in the water. And we know for a fact I don't think nobody would ever do that. He ain't gonna take a swim in the dark or in the daylight. And then his wallet found here. I mean, it's like all spread out. His school ID found another place. His wallet found another place. A shirt found another place. His car found another place. And then here is his body in Peru. Now, don't get me wrong. If you was, okay, he's from Illinois, so Peru isn't Illinois. He's from Danville. A river will take you under. Okay? So don't get me wrong. His body could have been found in Peru. But if they found his ID outside on the ground or whatever, then that means something happened to him. Somebody did something to him. Because if he want to take a swim, he gonna take a swim. He gonna take a swim in Danville. You ain't gonna find his ID in no Peru outside on no ground. Because they could easily say his body got washed up underwater and you know how you float and they find a body on shore. So from Danville to Peru, an hour away, his body could have easily float up ashore and they found him. But you're not gonna find his license. You're not gonna find his school ID. You ain't gonna find his car here in Peru if he's in Danville. Okay? So something did happen and I feel his mom pain. And she know what she's talking about. She's speaking facts, not facts, the truth. She's speaking the truth. She know something happened to her son. And if anybody know where Danville at, a little town in Illinois. It's still considered Illinois. And to end up in Peru, that's why I said I'm gonna have to look that up. Because there's no way. I can't see him going to Peru to go swimming. A town full. I'm just going to say this. I'm going to look it up and see how their police force is and all that. It's not right. It's not right. So on that, anybody have any questions? Somebody said, why Gabby Patino got so many warnings? Missing organs. So let's see. The mom said it wasn't missing organs, but let's see what these
A festival of life will be held in upstate Danville for Jelani Day. Day, 25, was found dead in the Illinois River in LaSalle County after the Illinois State University liner went missing in
I cannot stand when they use voice.
Danville is Day's old neighborhood. The group of people also gathered for a commemoration Thursday night at Illinois State University to remember the day. The reason for the death was not disclosed. Police are still investigating the case, along with the FBI. It was, one might say, a premature autopsy of a nebulous, narrow and indescribable body without a scalp, which even a mother would not perceive. The flooded body remained the property of the LaSalle County Coroner's Office for 24 days, even after specialists finally did positive distinctive tests, allegedly through dental records and DNA. Carmen Bolden Day was not allowed to see the body that specialists finally claimed was her daughter Jelani from her. Day, 25. Anyway, how could she possibly know if this is her Jelani, unless she finally gets a chance to look at the body, even in the form of a deteriorated refrigerated shell? How is it possible that she knows? How is it possible that you are resting, knowing with certainty in your heart that this is your child, or experiencing some Similarity of harmony and recognition at all times, unless, or perhaps, you have the opportunity to check the body of the head at the feet. A little time to look for signs, no matter how seemingly unimportant. The autopsy body was sure of her child? Some things a mother knows. Some things are incomprehensible. Some things just don't make sense. Some things on this matter just aren't right. Because they just aren't.
Well, she said they show a shirt that her son was wearing. That's how she knew it was her son. She knew it was her son because of the shirt he was wearing. They showed her a shirt. It's crazy. She know and she had that feeling. It's always a mama intuition. She knew her son was missing. Haven't heard from him. They trying their best to find out where he at, and she came out public with it. That's the only reason, probably why they really went searching. So this are the brothers speaking. So let's see what the brothers
More now
say.
on the tragedy involving 25-year-old Jelani Day. Right now, police are still calling this investigation. They're not ruling out whether Jelani Day's death could become a homicide case.
It's a homicide. It's a homicide. They need to find out who did it.
He is the brother of Jelani Day. Thank you so much for joining us. We know this is a tragic time.
I think it's a homicide.
First and foremost, our condolences. We have been sharing your family's story, your brother's story. It's heartbreaking, so our condolences first.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I want to do is just honor his memory. What can you share with us about your brother?
My brother was just like a more innocent version of me. He was always happy. He was always happy to meet new people, always willing and ready to just have fun anytime he could. Just a vibrant spirit, a vibrant soul. None of this makes sense. It's definitely a homicide. Just how the police officers, the officials, the detectives, or however they want to title themselves, they're not doing what they need to be done, doing what they need to be doing to help us find this out.
Yeah, we know that your family reported your brother missing nearly a month ago. Can you describe a little bit what happened with your interactions with police during that time?
Yes, so when we initially found out this, my older brother had contacted me, and instantly we went down to see what was going on. Mainly when anything happens, everybody always calls me, because I'm usually the person that knows everything that's going on, but this time I was struck and distraught because I didn't know exactly how to explain this to anybody or what to do forward next. So upon meeting up with the police, we got into my brother's apartment. Usually you would think that they would, yellow tape everything. They wouldn't allow anybody to take anything out the home or anything like that, but they did allow me to take my brother's laptop. And myself, and occasionally my sister would come with me to go
Hold on, let me pause this.
Businesses or officials.
Let me pause this. I don't know if I want to show this. Because, I like to analyze. I like to listen to things. And I don't like to go. My first judgment, I'm just going to continue to listen. Let me replay and hear what I thought I heard. Okay. I don't know. Daddy already trying to get a transplant. Giovanni is a donor. But everybody called on the brother. But he goes in the apartment to get a laptop out. A laptop. Now, how I found this video, I have no idea, but I'm gonna play it, and I want y'all to hear it with me, because this is my first time hearing this. UNC, I think they say UNC chat. I mean, like, courtesy to UNC. Shit.
More now on the tragedy involving 25-year-old Jelani Day. Right now, police are still calling this.
Good night, Miss Blondie. Have a nice night. Actually, have a nice night and a good morning.
Case. We're waiting for word on that. But joining me right now is
you never told me about bingo neither, did you hit? But we'll talk about that later.
For joining us. We know this is a tragic time for you and your family. First and foremost, our condolences. We have been sharing.
I listen to everything. I'm trying.
Story. It's heartbreaking. So our condolences first. And the first thing I want to do is just honor his memory. What can you share with us about your brother?
My brother was just like a more innocent version of me.
A more innocent version.
Happy to meet new people.
Of
always willing and ready to just have fun anytime he could. Just a vibrant spirit, vibrant soul.
Survival spirit and vibrant.
None of this makes sense. It's definitely a homicide.
Whoa.
The police officers, the officials, the detectives, or however they want to title themselves.
Do you know what happened to your brother?
Doing what they need to be doing to help us find this out.
Yeah, we know that your family reported your brother missing nearly a month ago. Can you describe a little bit what happened with your interactions with police during that time?
Yes, so when we initially found out this, my older brother had contacted me, and instantly we went down to see what was going on. Mainly when anything happens, everybody always calls me, because I'm usually the only person that knows everything that's going on. But this time I was like struck and distraught because I didn't know exactly how to explain this to anybody or what to do forward next. So upon meeting up with the police, we got to my brother's apartment. Usually you would think that they would, yellow tape everything. They wouldn't allow anybody to take anything out the
But you was able to go take that laptop.
They did allow me to take my brother's laptop, and myself, and occasionally my sister would come with me to go to different locations and areas to go try to, talk to businesses or officials. It was really us doing this footwork. And then when we found the car 2 days afterwards that my brother went missing, in Peru, Illinois, the police here in Peru never did an official search.
I can't.
Until a week later.
I don't want to play this.
It was up to my mom and the family members in our community, where we're from. Friends from all over came out to help us conduct a search in the area, so that we could go ahead and try to find clues or evidence and report back to them so they can do what their badge is for, so we can find out more evidence, more things, try to help find my brother. Because it felt like we were alone in this in the very beginning. They tried to say that he was depressed because of this program. My brothers were not built like that. From a very young age, we were always taught to face our problems head on. So whatever happened, whether it's something that was stressful for us, he would have came and talked to us about it. It was nothing that he would have ran away from or tried to run away from, because he knew he had support, he knew he had help. So there was a lot of first they were trying to say he was depressed and stressed by his master's program. It couldn't have been, and I know it couldn't have been, because we're not built that way.
I really admire you for your strength in talking about this and just hearing what you had to go through, searching for clues while you're grieving. That must have been so difficult.
I definitely want to know what really happened to this boy.
We're upset
now.
We're grieving, but the police aren't doing enough. We just have to do it ourselves. How did that all happen?
Pretty much in the first couple of days. Just from anybody can really tell, like from the first 48 hours, the whole show called First 48. The first 48 hours is so important and crucial. After that time frame, the chance to find out more evidence of what happened drops by less than 50%. So the time was not on our side at all. It had never been. And us trying to talk to them, they kept on asking about was he on different drugs? Did he have issues with people in the classroom? Was he a part of a gang? Like all these stereotypes that they were asking us, and we're telling them repeatedly over and over, like, no, that
he ain't the one in the gang.
No, he wouldn't run away. No, he didn't have any issues with people. He just moved to the area. He didn't know anybody out there. I was going to myself introduce him to people that I knew. I had some friends in that area.
There you
I know
go.
some people in that area.
There you
he
go.
Didn't know many people because he just came back home. He just came back home and tried to further his degree. And with everybody trying to make their own headline about what was going on, it was very frustrating for us. It was very frustrating for the family, my friends, his friends. We didn't want any of that type of attention to be on his name because that's not who he was at all. We knew that we had to just toughen up. No matter what type of emotions we were feeling at the time, we had to go ahead and find out what was going on and get to the bottom of it, because I know that us weeping our own sorrows and feeling sad and sorry for ourselves wasn't going to get the job done. We had to just toughen up and reach out to these agencies and hire a private investigator. Go to these businesses every day from sun up to sundown looking at camera footage that the police should have done and reporting back to them so they can use their power to get us more answers. So it's just, I know I took a couple classes in criminal justice myself when I was in school, but I shouldn't be the one that's in going to Dollar General or going to the side streets or going to these other businesses to watch their footage, begging them to watch their footage, to give answers, to find myself and my family some more substance so we can try to see which way his car went. So we can tell the detective, hey, check in this area because they're not letting us do this.
I got an article to say he was with
you were able to
somebody.
Do all that. What about social media and the national attention that your family would have?
But then all of a sudden, he wasn't.
Would that bring answers? And I know you
I
said
don't know. I'm going to have to
earlier,
look at that
you
article
didn't really want to
again.
be in the spotlight in that way. But don't you think that social media is the way to really get widespread notoriety so you can get help and bring attention to things?
Yeah, I definitely agree. With the help of people that I knew and my friends, our family members, and people that I don't even know that have been watching the story who reached out. They all been a huge, tremendous help with us reaching out to the major platforms and bringing the attention to my brother's name so we can go ahead and bring the spotlight to him so we can get the FBI involved so that we can get the attention that he needs to somebody to look at their ring cameras. Because at first, nobody was even trying to do all that extra work, and it's not that it was like
y'all found
they were asking for a lot. So we was asking for somebody to just do your job and take your time to
they
look at
found
the
the car in
footage
Peru
of your homes, your businesses, report back to us or our private investigator. We started pumping his name out more. We started getting more and more information that could lead us to, where he was at and what was going on. I feel like social media is definitely a powerful tool, and I'm glad that we did make such powerful social media push. Some of his friends in Alabama were definitely a lot of help by making different flyers and staying in contact with us. My friends and family all over, been reaching out and calling different FBI bureaus at a different time of the day. We set different times to tag all news stations and get their attention, and it definitely helped. And I'm glad it did, because my brother's name, his story, this case is not going to be a dead end. It's not going to be an unidentified circumstance, which is not going to be ruled out as a suicide because we know it's a homicide. We know that it's more details out there and the police need to stop hiding or whatever they're doing, whatever they call themselves doing. They need to just let us know what's going on and do the job.
So they absolutely, and we hear it in your voice, and we heard it in your mother's when she made comments. This kind of feeling that you're not asking for too much. You deserve that. You're not asking too much. That's what you're supposed to be provided as an American citizen. You're supposed to get protection from the law, help from the law. So what you all are doing is not asking too much. It is understandable. The minute people hear your brother was a master's student, I mean, my goodness, he went on to further his studies.
Somebody was jealous of him. I'm starting to think that.
Again, we're so sorry for your loss. What's the next
Master
step for you and your
student,
family?
about to get his degree
The next
as
step
a
for us
doctor.
is putting more fire under these investigators. The next step for us is making sure that, like I said, try to find out what exactly happened and what is going on. I know that with all these conspiracies that's going on, I know a lot of people have been DMing my mother with like, psychic readings and things of that nature. I hate seeing her go through that. I hate seeing her.
Yeah, and people shouldn't even do that
to
with
look
the
at all these
family.
odd messages and things that she's been getting.
Yeah.
And coming up with different things, and then we're all doing our best to try to keep her sane, my family sane, and things like that we just don't need. So one thing I do want to make sure that is that we get the FBI involved. We make sure that we get the correct detectives and investigators on the case.
And
so
I
that
hope
we're
they
not
find
doing
out
the
what
footwork.
actually happened
I
to
myself and my other siblings, we haven't worked since we heard from all this
Jedediah.
happened. I haven't been to work since the
Mhm.
24th, 23rd. Probably sometime before that. We all been out here on foot every day. My mom's been trying to manage
You ain't been to
herself,
work
control
before
herself for
what?
doing these interviews. We've been trying to help her do these interviews to get the attention
We
out that we
hope that
need to get
this,
more
we
help
hope
from
that
the
this
FBI.
interview will help. We absolutely hope that this interview and all the other interviews that you are doing will help, and we
Absolutely.
understand the grief that your family feels. And once again,
He
we
said
want
he ain't been to work
express our
even
condolences
before
to you
that.
and your family.
Before
Thank you
what?
so much for joining us here on Being
See, I pay attention. I took criminal justice too. You listen. Sometimes I don't know. I can't say nothing. I can't.
As the Gabby Petito
I just feel
homicide case
bad.
garners national attention, another young person.
The mom really trying to figure out what happened to her son. When they found the son, she want to know why. And why did they find him all the way down in Peru? I'm going to do some investigation on that because I want to see. Even though they said Peru was an hour away from where they found, hold on. He lived in Danville. Danville, Illinois is not too far from Chicago, Illinois. It's none of that. I mean, Danville is like one of them little towns that ain't too much out there for real. And I know that because my people, Sean Peoples, they live in Danville. We go there almost every year to go visit. They have warehouse parties and all that shit. But Peru is an hour away.
More now on the tragedy involving 25-year-old.
So how did he end up an hour away?
Police are still calling this investigation.
Where they found his body.
Whether Jelani Day's
They
death
found
could
his
become
car
a
and another
homicide.
thing. So I'm going to be doing some investigation. I have to figure this one out. And then I just seen the brother on lives, doing the news thing. He said everybody come to him for everything. And so pretty much I'm going to look at it like this. Only my opinion. If anything happens or go down, they always ask the brother first. But the brother was able to maintain to go in an apartment. Go in his brother Jeremiah's apartment to get a laptop. And the brother said out his mouth himself, I thought they have things up, crime tape, crime this, crime that. I was able to get his laptop. What was on that laptop? My dear, criminal justice, if y'all really doing y'all job, that's tampering with evidence. Y'all weren't supposed to let nobody take shit up out of nothing. No apartments.
All right.
So, yeah, I listen. I don't understand how he was able to take anything up out of an apartment knowing Mr. Day is missing. I don't know. It just don't sound right to me. Something don't sound right. But I respect the family. I respect the mom. I respect the whole family. Like, I really hope they find out what happened to
I was reading more.
I really hope they find out.
For Gabby Petito, the slain
Some just ain't right.
woman who
it ain't sitting right.
Her boyfriend still missing.
Could be a little jealousy on.
Federal warrant.
Sound like a little jealousy.
Gabby's debit card, pulling down $1,000. So who knows? But all hands on deck to figure out what happened to her and who the culprit is. And I was just pointing out, previously, as we hope there's resolution in that case, it's never going to be resolved for a family who's lost a loved one. Their most precious, their beautiful daughter. It's not going to be resolved for them, but we need to know more about what happened. We've talked about the disparity, how this case versus other cases. Okay, the young man whose body was found earlier this month and not identified until finally the graduate student, Illinois, Jelani.
Yeah, Jelani Day.
Till finally, his case got some publicity because the media was kind of covering their butts. And I'll just say it again. To call Gabby a social media influencer is not accurate. She did do a travel blog. She did participate, and it is believed wanted to be, an influencer. But she had, it's reported, about 1,000 followers when she went missing and was working to grow her audience. But the excuse that's why she deserves so much more coverage than so many others who went missing around the same time, a little earlier, after, is just not correct. It's just not true.
There's no excuse. There's no excuse for that. And like you said, they're covering their tracks. I mean, social media influencer. I want give her coverage if you have to. But it's never going to be
I don't want to.
So
I don't want to speculate.
Outlets put themselves in that situation. Here's what
I don't want to speculate, but some don't sound right either with that one.
So Gabby Petito was missing. We know the suspect in her situation. It's her boyfriend. I can't think of his name.
Brian.
But it's her boyfriend or fiance. Brian Laundrie. So they're looking for him. He's a person of interest. I know he's got a warrant for the credit card or whatever. They haven't made him a suspect in her death, right? But they know that they have something that they want to talk to him about. When it comes to Jelani Day, because of how long it took for them to identify the body after his mom reported him missing back in August, they found his body on September 4th, and here we are almost 3 weeks later, and they're just now telling his mother, hey, this is your son. He was found floating in the river or in the lake or wherever he was found. Now it's cold. Look, we know enough about these cases to know that if you don't have a suspect within the first 48 hours, it could go cold or whatever. So I'm thinking about his mother right now. Well, I'm thinking about the Petito family as well. Don't get me wrong, but I'm thinking about his mother because they don't have a suspect. They don't have a lead right now. All they had was a car that was missing, and they found this car, and then they found a body. They don't know. So the justice. There's closure in knowing that her son has passed away.
The video, I should have saved it. Hold on, y'all.
Where is he? What happened to him? Hold on. She has that body. And you mentioned Michael Jordan's family.
Did y'all hear the brother say
Michael Jordan's father's body cremated? But once again,
a dollar store?
Will the justice
that was the last time they seen Jelani at a dollar store?
Because of the lack of interest.
How will he know that? Nobody never released that. We don't know that.
And to report his body.
I ain't heard not one news person say that. The brother slipped out and said it out his mouth. See, that's why I say listen.
Think of the mother's anguish.
I'm gonna go back to it.
Early September,
they seen him at the last. The last they seen him was at a dollar store. They didn't
want this outcome, but knowing something and not having
this false hope of, I know I wasn't hearing things. That's what I said, hold up, let me go back.
For weeks, they had the body. And because, there's no attention focused here on this missing person. And again, the car, and there was something went on here. because they
definitely
pay attention.
And I got an article
authorities, the world,
when it first came out.
mass media.
With Gabby been missing, the mom came out
on TV,
and she said her son was missing. That's how I start sharing
to bring his
story.
brother home. The body was in custody, and no one thought, black male, understand decomposition this time of year. It's very difficult to imagine, but you understand. Nobody thought, this appears to be the size, height, something, weight, whatever. This could be.
The world didn't even know her son was missing until the mama came and started speaking out.
Syndrome took hold. There was blowback. There was criticism. And suddenly, a few breadcrumbs were sprinkled along the trail of Jelani Day. And now his family has pain, horror. I hate the word closure. At least they know.
But here's the thing. They will never probably have closure. With Gabby Petito, there could be closure because if they find Laundrie and Laundrie admits whatever, if he's a suspect and he is indeed her killer, there is closure to know, okay, why did this happen? There was a spat. There could have been something. At least they have a suspect. Jelani Day's family may never have closure because now they have the body. They have closure in knowing that he's passed away. But now you want to know why my baby? What this young man who was going to medical school?
Okay, babe, I'm gonna end the live in a minute because I gotta go do some more research.
Why did this happen
before I go to bed? Because I swear I just heard this boy say the last time they seen Jelani
from authorities out there
was at a dollar store. No news media released that.
It's about others that we'll be talking about. Allison Bradley,
his
Ashley
brother
Guillory, Bernadette Padilla.
I have an article
Hernandez,
that when
Keisha
they
Jacobs,
first
Marilyn McCown, Mercedes
said
Oliver,
Jelani was
Sakina
missing,
Hannah, Santana
he was
Butler,
with
Stephanie
somebody.
Foster, thousands of others that are out there right now
I got
missing.
that article. I'm happy
and their
to find
families are looking for answers.
pray that I
and
saved it.
We used to put them on.
Him
the
and
cartons.
another guy was
we used to
missing.
Put them on the back of grocery
They were
bags
driving
or
a
whatever.
white car.
They're
They
not
found
even
the
doing
car,
that too much anymore.
but they didn't
These
find
families need
nobody.
answers because some of these missing
That was the
people
first
out there,
article that was put out.
I pray are still alive, and it's not too late.
They
So
found
please,
a shirt
you
in
gotta
a
do a
car.
better job overall across the board.
And Mike, I'll end.
They didn't know who he were. They didn't even have a body. They just had a car with a shirt inside of a car.
At these two cases.
But the last time anybody seen Jelani, he was with another person.
Media and say, well, a beautiful
and the news put that out. I'm going to find that article.
And beautiful people
because I think
make for good ratings. I've not seen
but then,
a beautiful man.
Once they found
these
Jelani, he was by himself.
Who cared for them. Medical school, okay?
Medical school, yeah.
She's about to get married. Their families both loved and desperately craved to have them in their arms again, right? Two families seemingly loving their children outwardly and providing a good life for them.
And that lady, and Jelani mama is a good mother. Man, she raised some good kids.
Black man.
Especially in Chicago, Illinois. I'm going to consider it Illinois because
looks like he stepped right out of Central Casting.
It's still Chicago, but not in Chicago because Danville is nothing like far as Illinois. Because I visit Danville almost every year. Every year. Matter of fact, it be always in September.
Gabby Petito
on Labor
was
Day.
And is loved, and so is he. You may get tired of hearing it. I'm not going to stop saying
Sean Peoples. They always do something before.
Look at your life.
The summer end. And it's in Danville. Danville ain't too far from Indiana and Illinois.
When is it going to be first? And I don't even know how to say this, Sharon, because it's like everybody deserves coverage. I don't know.
I never heard of Peru, Illinois, so that's why I said I'm gonna look Peru
because I don't think
because
one
I never
person
heard
or one missing person deserves more coverage than somebody else. So even if it does turn around and we start, because there are other
something?
black people. So if we pick Jelani Day, absolutely, we can put Jelani Day up there, but there are thousands of black people, kids who look just like Jelani Day that are missing too, and their families are like, well, you gave him some attention. How come
so
I
I
can't get
can't
attention?
get
So
it.
it's
There you
what
go.
do we do? What do we do? We
think
gotta find a solution.
I think you ask a valid question and a real question, but I would ask another, because I don't think it's about how we pick and choose. I think it's about who we choose to ignore. And if we would just stop doing that, I honestly believe the rest could take care of itself, right? She was picked because she is a blonde, white woman. Not because she's a YouTuber. We've gone over that. 1,000 followers doesn't make you an influencer.
I disagree on that.
He was ignored.
I think she was picked because it was out in the opening that she got pulled over. They got pulled over.
Just stop ignoring.
And she came up missing.
People.
We didn't know that
Jelania
was
deserve
missing.
the love they too receive, deserve to have a life, and deserve answers.
But every life is important. So at the end of the day, it's not no color. Every life is important.
Would solve a
but
lot.
The only reason why Gabby got the attention she got is because
it has to go deeper.
It was live when she got pulled over. I don't know why people won't get that through their head.
It's the authorities.
She could have been black girl got pulled over.
And
with a black
they
man.
View us as missing people.
They still would have got the same attention
as missing people.
We didn't know somebody else was
the
missing.
Same type of resources that they put into finding the
until the mother spoke
girl,
out.
Blonde hair,
my son
blue eyes.
missing too.
You need to do the same thing for
That's
the
how we
black
know
man
her
who goes
son
missing,
is missing.
Who's just graduated from medical school. You need to do the same
we
thing.
Didn't
but
know
the
it.
reason why is
Put
because
it
of the perception and how they see us when it comes to the authorities. They see us and they say, well, it must be some kind of foul play. He just a runaway. It's always something. There's always some kind of excuse. Not that this is just a victim, an innocent victim who was minding their own business, doing something, living their lives, wanting to live a better life and make a better life for themselves. And all of a sudden, because of some foul play from somebody else, some other fool, took that away from them and their family. But because the authorities view us that way, this is the reason
I want to know.
We get treated that way, and all of a sudden they don't give the same resources or the same attention that the other people get. And that is where it has to start first and foremost before we can get to all the mass media that's out there not giving the same equal treatment to everybody.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Unless they're all intertwined. You know, that saying about a dog chasing its tail, you know, which came first, right? Which came first, the cameras or this investigation that grew to disproportionate size? Which came first? The cameras, the scrutiny, or this huge manpower investigation? And I don't know the answer to that, but I do believe about, is it a dog chasing its tail, wagging it? You know what I'm saying, okay? Or a hamster on a wheel. It's this cycle of who matters. It's what we teach people in media.
It's what y'all teaching now. Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest.
Show with you because we're not gonna stop talking about
the
it.
only reason
We're not. We
and I'm gonna
shouldn't.
say it again.
And we're
the
not
only
asked to.
reason
Thank
why
God.
Gabby got that much attention, y'all, is because when they got pulled over, we wouldn't even know who Gabby was. But when they got pulled over in the police car, we would never knew who the fuck they was. All of a sudden, the parents, Gabby parents, reported her missing. So now the police that had the cameras on them, they released the video. Said she was a blogger. She wanted to do this. She wanted to do that. She was an Instagram blogger. That's how the fucking world knew who the fuck Gabby were. Now, we would never have known who Jedediah Day. We would never knew who Jedediah Day were if his mother would not have spoke up. Who is we to say who missing, who ain't missing? We do got a lot of missing people in this world. Missing kids, missing adults. I covered a story one time where the lady, they found the girl deceased. And the whole time they was talking about the girl being deceased, her mom been missing for years. Who's out there looking for her mom? See, we as African American people need to start speaking up and not letting the police say they handling their job. We handling our job. We doing our job. Hell, they could throw your paperwork on a desk and call it a day. Now, had Jedediah Day mom not had spoke up, we would never know he was missing. Guess what? They found him. They found him. They probably wouldn't even never said that they found him if his mom wasn't a strong mom that she is to speak up, because nobody ever knew he was missing. We always focusing on Gabby. We didn't know Jedediah was gone and missing at the same time. So to me, honestly, it's not a black or a white thing. Any human life that I know, me as a parent, if my child gone, I'm gonna speak up. I'm not waiting on no policemen. I'm gonna be just like Jedediah mom. I'm gonna be just like her. I'm going to find mine. I don't care what you say. I will travel all over the world to find. If mine's over here in this state, I'm going to that state. I don't care. Nobody can stop me. And that's how I am as a mother. So I'm not going to focus on, they covering this case about this white woman, but they ain't covering this case about mine, because I can care less. Because at this time, she missing, my child missing. I'm going to find mine. I ain't worried about hers right now. And I'm going to end my life on that note. It ain't about color. It's about how the news, how we synced it. We synced it. Everybody synced it all across the world. They got pulled over. That's how her case became a national case. Nobody knew of another person being missing. Speak up or shut up. I know I'm going to speak up if anything ever, if I was ever in any of that situation. I ain't even got to wait on no police. I ain't even going to lie. I ain't got to wait on no police when it comes to mine. And I got 7 of them. And 13 grandkids, because they all mine in my heart. And nieces and nephews, they mine too. I'm not waiting on no police to tell me shit. Because in my head, they can look at it and be like, try another case and put it on the desk and keep her walking away. And I don't want national news. I guarantee you I'm a hunt for mine, because I know them policemen ain't going to do shit. They going to do all what they think their money can do. Oh, it's going over budget. Fuck a budget when it comes to mine. And I ain't waiting on nobody else's case to speak up about mine. But on that note, I'm going to end the live. Thank you, Raven. Thank you, Blondie. Thank you, I know it's a few more people that came in. Kim Boy, thank you. Thank you, Elaine. Hold on. Y'all gotta help me out sometimes and be like, hey, I'm here. So I ain't got to go up and down the stroll. Not like as many people. But at the end of the day, thank you 100%. Always. Thank you. I ain't seen you in a minute. Thank you for coming in. Welcome back. Let me see. Lavina, thank you, boo. Thank you for coming in, stopping through. And again, like I say, it's all about, it's a lot of missing kids, it's a lot of missing adults. Mr. YouTube Streets, thank you for coming through. It's not about, oh gosh, this blonde head and this. I don't see their skin color. I seen it as what I seen it was. Homegirl was pulled over. Dude, I felt like dude did something and she was so anxiety attack, whatever, whatnot. But because that day they got pulled over, we wouldn't have never known that she would have end up missing. So because she's end up missing, they doing a manhunting on a missing girl. We never knew that it was another kid out here missing. And I'm glad that his mom spoke up. You cannot leave the police to do a job. Cause hell, half of the time, and I'm not even gonna lie, and I'm not making it like racist, but half of the time they might look like at it like another. You know what I'm saying? We're getting that later, cause half of the time some of them detectives and stuff is kind of lazy. Shit, I ain't gonna. I don't know. I'm just gonna end my life on a good note and just say it ain't about races. Cause I really, truly, deep in my heart, wish they find out what actually happened to Javonde. I know I probably saying his name wrong. Javonde Day. I hope they find out what really happened to him, because the things that they release to the public for his autopsy does not sound right. And then where he end up at, his body end up in Peru. I said I'm gonna do some research on that. But I did watch a little news and clip. Is pretty much, now unless his body swim from Danville to Illinois, Peru, Illinois, some ain't right about it. I mean, cause you find his car here, you find his body here, you find his shirt here, you find his school ID here. Some ain't right about that. It's tampering with evidence all up and down Danville, Illinois, and Peru and Bloomington, Illinois. So I will keep y'all updated on that. Because I want to know, like, how in the hell they tell his mom he just took his shirt off and just get in the daggone river to swim. And where he was swimming to. If you know the area, it ain't nowhere like nothing there. Okay, I'm going to end my life. I'll keep y'all updated.